Alright, so, I'm gonna play this game, Final Fantasy VII Remake. I bought it on, well, I didn't buy it, I got it for free on PlayStation Plus. And so, I have a week left of PlayStation Plus, or thereabout. I got like 6 or 7 days. And so, my goal is to play this in the meantime. Try and play it before my subscription runs out. So we're gonna do kind of a test stream. So one of the problems that I have is, if anyone here has gone back and looked at my old streams, you've seen that they get really pixelated. At least on my end they do, whenever I look at my own videos. They always end up looking super pixelated whenever I move the camera, my streams. And it's something that only happens with YouTube. Whenever I stream to Twitch, to like a few friends of mine or something like that, it doesn't do that. It's more of a consistent, normal stream. But whenever I stream on YouTube, it's just a little bit screwy. So I'm kind of doing this test just to get it out there. I've recorded a video, and I'm going to upload it tomorrow. And it's going to have a link to my Twitch TV and all that stuff. And I'm going to start trying to move over to Twitch when it comes to streaming specifically, because it'll just work out better. So that's my plan for the future now. And yeah, but for tonight, I guess it's just too late. It's like, I started streaming and it's like almost midnight where I'm at. And maybe some European people will be able to watch this at a reasonable time, but or maybe some people in the United States, but I would rather start my Twitch thing tomorrow, so I'm going to upload the video tomorrow, and then start streaming tomorrow, probably around like 6:30 or 7, my time, which would be Pacific Standard Time. And that's going to be the plan, so I'm just going to try and stream this game as much as I can. I'm not going to stream all of it, because I don't want to stream all the time, it kind of wear me out a little bit. But I'm going to try and finish this game in the time span that I have with the PlayStation Plus. I've played the original Final Fantasy VII many times. I've played it like 3 or 4 times. I have not played the remake. I know a little bit about it. I know some of the things that they change, with the weird spirit things that fly around that change the timeline, and there's like time travel or something like that. So I know a little bit. And I don't know, I got mixed thoughts about that. But, I guess I'll just start it now. And I'll just give my thoughts live on this thing. I might talk about some other topics too, some other Final Fantasy games, and I actually just recently did a playthrough of Kingdom Hearts. The first one, the second one. I watched the cutscenes for 358 over 2 days. I watched, I played Recoded as well, the remake of Coded. And I played Birth by Sleep, the Ventus character. I played that. So, I just recently did that. And I've got some thoughts on that series, because well, Kingdom Hearts has kind of been a rocky thing for me, where it's gone up and down. I originally kind of didn't like those games, or I originally liked those games a lot as a kid, and then kind of grew up a little bit, and then tried to go back and play it because the nostalgia was so high. And when I went back, I just couldn't really get into it. It was too weird. But then when I've gone back in the future now, I've kind of found a new respect for it. It's an interesting franchise. There's nothing really like it. But that's a different franchise. Kingdom Hearts is a different franchise. So we're gonna start Final Fantasy VII Remake right now. Never mind. We have a menu. Difficulty normal. I know that this game has real-time with pause system, similar to Final Fantasy, I almost said Versus 15. It's got a similar system with that. It's like live action, action RPG style combat, but it has also a pause system I guess I'll just figure that out as we go here. I can play the game in Japanese, the superior way, I'm sure. Alright, new game. Select a difficulty for this game. Recommended if you want to focus on using commands in battle. Classic. The player-controlled character will attack and defend automatically, allowing you to focus on executing commands. The battle difficulty is the same as easy. Well, I do... If I had a choice, right? If I had the choice to play a game, a Final Fantasy VII Remake that's more like Kingdom Hearts versus a Final Fantasy VII Remake that's a little bit more like active time battle, ATB battle system, similar to, well, all the Final Fantasies are like that post-4, but, except for 10. Something that's almost more equivalent to 13, because I thought 13, as many problems as that game had, I thought it hit a good balance with, the flow of combat and how fast it was, and it was actually kind of an interesting take on ATB. We'll see how this is. I'm gonna try it on Classic. I know it's like playing it on Easy, so it's kind of casual mode here, but I want to see how they handle that, because I want to see how they accommodate the classic, retro fans of Final Fantasy. Alright, this cutscene. I've seen this cutscene a lot in the original. Looks a little different this time. Get a little bit of the one-winged angel motif. For anyone that's curious, I have played Crisis Core. I like Crisis Core a lot. Seems like this combat system's a little bit more equivalent to Crisis Core than Final Fantasy, or than Kingdom Hearts. Though I'm not sure. It seems to look a lot like 15 as well. Love how she looks in this game. They did a good job. Yoshinori Katase. That's a name. Director of Final Fantasy VIII. And I believe 7. Hironobu Sakaguchi created Final Fantasy and was the lead writer for 7. Came up with a lot of the concepts. Weird seeing this. It's like years in the making, you know? I remember that demo thing that they had, or that trailer for a demo for the 7 Remake on the PS3. It's kind of surreal seeing this.
Get down here, Merc.
Amazing, these seamless transitions these days between cutscene and gameplay.
Who goes there? You're up.
I probably sound like an old man when I say that, but I don't play that many modern games. I play, most of the games I play are retro,
nice and
typically,
easy.
or just a little bit older. Level up already. That's, not surprising. So, no level up menu yet. Maybe there isn't a level up menu yet, because of,
I can see him.
you know, whenever I level up in a modern RPG, I always expect there to be like a skill tree. But I do forget that we're playing a Japanese RPG, so it's all kind of automatic.
Freeze!
Typically.
Move and we shoot.
Punisher mode, what's that? Operator mode, Punisher mode. Okay, so this is the real time with pause thing that they're doing here. Reminds me of Fallout, specifically Fallout 4, because it goes into like slow-mo a little bit.
All right.
Okay. You can extend ATB gauge charges to perform battle commands, such as using the abilities, magic.
Enough of this.
Oh shit! He is a soldier operator.
Okay, so our ATB is down there. That is refilling very slowly, though.
Nothing to it.
Okay, I didn't press anything. He just did that on his own. Menus. Okay, now we have our menus. Oh, we can save anywhere. Makes sense. Wish every Final Fantasy had that. That's why it's always best to play Final Fantasy games on emulators. Because you can save anywhere, and you can really get screwed over by the save points in these games. I remember specifically, I think in Final Fantasy VI, getting screwed over a few times by that.
Drop the weapon!
You got this.
Yeah, what he said. You're coming with us.
Can't get surrounded.
Okay, so we got a dodge roll. Okay, so square is just like your standard attack. That's gonna throw me off a little bit because I'm so used to Kingdom Hearts where it's like it's always X to attack.
Let's go.
Sure, you could change that in the menu. But I think I'm good.
So what's Soldier Boy's deal? Is he one of us now? He's got balls, this, what was his name again?
Cloud Strife.
Right.
And he isn't a soldier anymore. Still, he's a professional, unlike the rest of us. I'm glad to have him.
This is a one-time gig. When it's done, we're done.
Real joy to work with.
Real joy to look at, too. Looks like people never first.
Guess I'm not on the same page as people.
I'd say you're not even reading the same book.
Enough.
I appreciate the banter.
Or even the same...
Give it a rest.
Come on, nobody do something this crazy just for money. They may not think you're a true believer, but you know what I think?
Not interested.
What?
Wedge. You better be worth the money, Merc. Every last gil.
Iconic shot. The iconic shot that they would use on the cover. Which, by the way, is a little bit strange, considering the fact that this isn't really the complete remake at all. This is kind of like its own thing. Oh, okay, we got the stagger system. So that's like Final Fantasy 13. I'm cool with that, as long as it's executed well. It was executed...
Not bad.
weirdly in 13. I think it was mostly executed fine in 13, but then there were parts where it wasn't, like with Barthandelus. When you're fighting him in certain battles, it's like just way too damage spongy. Later, I watched a friend play this game, and yeah, it gets a little bit long in the tooth from what I understand towards the end, and you get some enemies that are kind of like filler enemies.
This way.
Can I crouch? I'm sure they'll just...
Not so fast. We've got company.
Try this. Let's go.
I like that. That's kind of cool. It's like you have your standard attack, and then, like in Fallout where you have bats, you kind of pause it, and then it's like, here's my special ability. Only it would be like spells or certain like special attacks, kind of like limit breaks. Did I get turned around? I don't think I did. Map. Okay. Kind of just went this way, but the it's telling me to go here though, unless I'm being stupid and I missed something. This must be the right way. Yeah. Okay.
Nothing to it.
You know, I noticed in games these days, this is becoming more and more of a thing, where you have to hold down the button to activate the thing. I'm looking at you, Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, I don't know what it is, but like every game nowadays, I feel like I gotta hold down a button instead of just pressing it.
Come on, Cloud.
I don't know why that is. It's even true on keyboard and mouse on PC games. Like, you have to hold down the F key. Like, I don't remember, like, the entire generation of the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, I don't think I ever had to hold down, like, a key on, like, a keyboard and mouse.
Soldiers may attack on command, but I hear they make good guard dogs, too. Bet you've seen a few reactors. So how do we get to the bridge above Mako storage?
Unless I was, like, picking up a weapon or something.
Ain't holding out on me, are you?
Like in Halo.
Stab scared to bite the hand that fed him? Or is he a loyal little doggy? Have it your way, Mutt. We can do this with you, or we can do this without you.
Different reactor, different layout.
It's that brainwashing affecting Cloud.
Never seen one like this, but I'll manage.
Don't you worry. Biggs will have the door open soon. Don't you worry. Biggs will have the door open soon.
Okie
In 3, 2... Damn, I'm good.
Who's there? Door! Oh, wait! It's over!
That's my line.
He's alone! We can
This
take
song?
him! Make it rain!
That's that. That's that. See it?
We're back.
Then let's move.
He always knows just
Oh, I love
what
how
to
they
say.
disintegrate into, like, Mako energy. That's cool.
It's a good thing I know someone who can get us the passcodes.
Or, like, life force energy.
Pity no one else at command will talk to us, but what can you do? And we're good.
Careful in there. I got this place covered.
So, you know Tifa, right? It's not really my business, but are you guys close?
It's complicated. Like, it's really complicated. Because I'm literally two people. Sort of. But sort of not.
Cloud! Are you ignoring me?
Tifa and I...
You know, a lot of people complain about the amnesia trope in RPGs, especially JRPGs. It's never really bothered me, but it's definitely a thing you notice.
These sewer rats appear to call themselves Avalanche, sir. We are currently investigating whether they belong to the same group that made the attempt on your life. Rest assured, our inquiries will not take much longer.
This pump's sole purpose is to drain the planet dry. While you sleep, while you eat, while you shit, it's here sucking up Mako. It doesn't rest, and it doesn't care. You do realize what Mako is, don't you? Mako is the lifeblood of our world. The planet bleeds green like you and me bleed red. The hell you think's gonna happen when it's all gone, huh? Answer me! You gonna stand there and pretend you can't hear the planet crying out in pain? I know you can!
You really hear that?
Damn straight I do!
Get help.
Oh.
Say that again!
I'd worry less about the planet and more about the next 5 seconds. Save the screaming for later.
Our lives are on the line now. You listening, Merc? One false move, and that happens.
Well, so much for having Cloud do all the fighting. There are some places a sword just can't reach. Just bear with him for me, would you?
Yeah.
Should have asked for more money.
Okay.
Gonna throw your sword at him? Let the man
we
with
have
the
target
gun
control.
go to work.
And as I predict, you would switch through R2, L2. Or maybe... what? Oh, okay, so you block with R1.
These tin cans ain't got nothing on me! Gotta love See ya! Now for the real show!
We get our big guns there. Let me switch characters.
That's an order!
Doesn't want me to do it yet. Oh, okay, here we go.
Do your job!
Use the D-pad.
Shut up and move over.
Saw the little icon in the bottom right there.
Sure you
There's a little arrow.
Look what we have here.
The laser security system. Great.
Those things will hurt more than your pride if you're careless. They'll cut you down to size and then some. But I'm guessing you've done this kind of thing before.
Yeah. Figure out the timing of the lasers. Then, make a move when they cycle off.
Exactly. I'll go first. Nothing like a little danger to get the blood pumping.
Hey!
Just keep those baby blues of yours on me. too shabby. You're doing good, soldier. And it's more of the same. Come on, then. Pretty easy, right?
Pretty forgiving about the damage with that. They'd want me to dodge roll here. Oh, I can't dodge roll. That's interesting.
Like a walk in the park, huh? Phew. Well, I'm glad that's over with. Look. They don't call those things sweepers for nothing. They can wipe out a whole squad in seconds.
Not if you wipe the floor with them first.
Ah! We can take this hunk of junk!
That hunk of junk is a heavy weapons platform. If we rush in, we die.
Is that right?
We need to hit it with magic. That should give us an
Okay, so who's got magic then?
Bring it home!
Take it over.
Of course, Cloud.
No.
And that unlocks Stagger, just like in FF13.
Now's our chance.
You'd use magic with a mix of, you use like magic with, your melee. You use like a spell like Ruin, and then you build up Stagger.
What are you, 20-something?
First. Huh? Soldier first class. Doesn't go into the 20s.
The hell you talking about? I mean your age, not your goddamn rank. Though for all I know, a soldier's rank could be the same as his age. Mm-hmm. Guess that make you a 1-year-old, huh? Live and learn.
Spoiler alert, Cloud is 23, I think. I could be wrong about that. I think he's 23 or 24. Squall, on the other hand, is 17 in FF8. But then he's older in Kingdom Hearts. They made him older.
Gotta set the bomb at the bottom. Let's get down there.
He might be older in Crisis Core as well. I'm not sure though. I didn't play Crisis Core.
God damn. I can practically.
Or not Crisis Core, I'm sorry. Dissidia. Dissidia is what I meant. I played Crisis Core, believe me. Dissidia is what I mean. The big crossover game with Squall in it and everyone.
Scared, huh?
More like excited. I've been dreaming about this for years.
Heads up, boys. The end's in sight. I leave the rest in your capable
We're definitely
hands.
in a Mako factory. I feel like we're in Axis Chemicals in Gotham City.
Oh, here we go.
That's that.
These chemicals, I guess you would say.
Yeah. Get ready. Let's get this over with. Need a light.
You think if we fell in, we'd sink right down to the bottom? To the planet's core?
Not bad.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. All right, let's see if Little Stamp really can bite the hand that feeds. Go on, do the honors. Prove to me you're the man Tifa says you are. That you're one of us.
Never said I was. I'm just here for the paycheck.
Then do the damn job!
I'm just here for the money. I don't care about your eco-terrorism. Feather. It's a bad omen.
What's wrong?
I'm fine. What about the timer?
Your call, Merc.
I mean... I like to live life on the edge a little bit.
Pretty cocky, ain't you? You double-crossing!
Heads up!
What in the hell? Hey, how the hell do we fight this thing?
It's got reinforced armor plating, but the internals can be overloaded. Lightning magic.
No other option, huh?
Don't overdo it.
Guess it's my turn.
Do you have any spells? Just got fire. What's that?
So now, stay down, asshole. Better win this one for the play. We barely scratched the damn thing.
Didn't I tell you to use magic?
Thought you were full of shit.
Think whatever you want. Just do it.
I'm looking at my own stream right now. It's pretty blurry. I'm sorry about that. Like I said, I'm gonna fix this tomorrow. I'm gonna go on
Never
Twitch.
seen this defense system before.
Thought you were the expert.
So what's your brilliant?
He's in like a hard mode here. Interesting.
Bingo! Focus on that core.
Oh, now he remembers. Don't keep me waiting in suspense next time. It's my time to shine.
Or go down in flames. Now, hit it hard and fast.
Oh, you're in for it now.
Just shoot. Keep it together.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, now he's got lightning.
Go make your eyeballs pop.
I got this.
So you can stagger him. Okay.
You're done. Let's do this. Focus and find a way. Watch the tail. You don't want to be hit by that laser.
Huh? So, what do we do?
Don't get hit. Take cover behind that debris.
Cover.
Now, go!
There's our limit break.
Don't overdo it. Hang back. Gotta memorize the attack pattern. No escape.
I want to stagger him before I get the limit break. I mean, it probably doesn't make a difference anyways, because this is kind of a tutorial boss.
Gotta heal up.
Fire.
Calling fire. auto repair unit. Damn it. We gotta take it out quick or we're screwed.
Oh, I am way ahead of you, Murph.
Gotta time our attacks just right. Hold out until you spot an opening.
There we go. Cloud is now level 8. How many times did I level up? I was level 1 like 2 minutes ago.
Shit, the ball!
20 minutes until detonation.
You hear that? Damn thing showed you how it's done.
Come on, we've gotta move.
Wedge should be covering our way out. Go, go, go!
Give me a break. It's over. Enough. That it? You okay?
Do I look okay? Help a girl out, would you? My hero.
Hey! We'll link up over there! Look after Jesse!
Come this way. This route should lead us straight to Barrett. Probably. I think I see an exit. Come on. Don't look back. Let's go, let's go, let's go!
No, wait. I obtained 2 potions. I needed those. Come on. Slow and steady wins the race, you know.
We're running out of time!
Shut up and climb. You're not helping.
Sorry, it keeps me focused. I'll freak out if I don't talk.
Have it your way.
Barrett!
I've got you covered! Find us a way out of here!
But then...
Don't worry, I'll be fine. I've got Soldier Boy.
I'll pause the timer. It's not moving.
X, Soldier Boy.
They're here! Take them down! We don't have time for this shit! The clock's ticking!
Cool it. 5 seconds is all we need. That's that.
Let's go! The others are waiting. Gotta get the hell out of here ASAP.
It's on now. Going in. Get ready.
ether.
All done.
That's a lot of dodges.
Let's finish this. All done.
Cocky little bastard. Not going down without a fight.
Going in.
You don't look so good. Take care of those wounds before you bleed out.
Won't last long. Gotta be careful. Let's do this. All right. See ya. No holding back. Let's get this over with. Time to burn.
Ain't got nothing on me.
Some really good spell effects. So there is a charm to the original spell effects. I like those old spell effects. I made a video once called, I think bad spell effects sometimes look kind of cool. Like, I like the spell effects in Whirlwind, where it's just like a fireball is just like a circle that just kind of goes, like, I like, it almost looks like a balloon, like a fire balloon.
Sir.
I also like the way Din's Fire looks in Ocarina of Time, or the way the bombs look in Star Fox 64. There's just kind of a charm to it.
Come on!
Doors open. We don't have a lot of time here. Look at the pace, people.
No.
Can you walk?
If I couldn't, believe me, you'd be the first to know.
I'll take that as a yes.
Okay, that was pretty cool. All right, come on.
Wow.
Looks like we made it. And with nothing but a few scratches to show. Think you might have overdone it?
I followed the instructions to the letter. Maybe it triggered a reaction with the Mako?
Well, let's hope the city's still in one piece.
But the planet's what matters, right? I mean, this must have helped some.
After all that, it had better have. Anyway, let's get going. We in Sector 8?
That'd be just down there.
All right then, lead the way.
You got it. Huh. Watch out for live wires. They're everywhere.
Final hallway 7.
Ugh. The air in here reeks. Can't wait to get out in the open.
I love hallways. You guys like hallways?
What is that? I've never smelled anything so foul. Oh, it's me. Gotta do something about that. And soon.
I felt that one in my guts.
They just keep on coming.
We need to get out of this place.
Was it the Mako density? The primary explosive?
Oh, I can kind of sprint.
Agent?
Hey, we can figure
I can
that
like
out
sprint
later.
walk. I can speed walk.
I'm running on empty here.
You can refuel at the base.
Next time I'll have to bring a little pick-me-up. That's about as good a place as any.
Stand back then. I'll set the bomb.
Can't wait to see you, Marlene.
Can't wait to take a hot shower.
She's good to go. Fire in the hole!
You sure told those doors.
Let that be a lesson to anything that gets in my way.
Attention all citizens. Attention all citizens. This is an alert from the Shinra Emergency Operations
I remember this song.
Unidentified intruders have detonated a bomb inside Mako Reactor 1. Multiple explosions have been confirmed, as well as ongoing fire. In response,
Damn, we're terrorists. That's what we did. Look what you did.
Structures in the area
Sector 8 business district.
rendering the entire sector hazardous. Therefore, all residents of Sector 8
No way.
This couldn't have been us, could it?
But what if it was?
What's done is done.
Merc's right.
What's done is done.
It ain't pretty, but we can't stop now. This was just the first reactor.
It is what it is. What's done is done.
Till we get the rest.
Yeah. We always knew this was gonna get messy.
And this is only the beginning.
Y'all gotta look at the bigger picture here. Nothing worth fighting for was ever won without sacrifice. Though you may not be crying out, I know you're in pain, just like the planet. But it's okay, cause I'm here for you, to help take the load off your shoulders. Your fears, your worries, your concerns, and yes, your fees. Whatever your problem, I got you.
So, what's our next move, boss?
That's easy enough. We get our asses home.
Yeah, I like Final Fantasy VII, the original, and this is my first time playing the remake. It's pretty cool so far. I saw a friend play it, and it's not the complete remake, and it gets a little damage spongy with some of the enemies later, because it uses a similar combat system as Final Fantasy XIII.
Hey,
which is a game I like, by the way, but has some flaws.
Once we're back
Uh,
at base.
Yeah, this game is cool so far. I kind of like what they're doing with the combat system. It seems kind of experimental.
Yoo-hoo. I don't need to tell you what this is.
Yeah,
right?
10 is good.
Of course not. It's healing.
I gotta replay 10.
You can have it for saving my life.
Just doing my job. Nothing more.
Yeah. Fact is, I'm lucky you were there.
Survival can be a matter of luck or skill.
Yeah, 10 had a really solid combat system.
Words to live by.
I really like that you could swap in and out different characters.
Well, thanks.
And
You do know how to use it, right?
all the characters
You
were
do
cool
know
in that
what I
game.
was, right?
Like, there was no one that I didn't like, really. I know people don't like Tidus or whatever, but I didn't have a problem with Tidus.
Okay, I was only trying to help. Oh, before I forget, here's a little something extra for being so brave. That really was the ride of a lifetime. Well, see you on the train.
But my favorite Final Fantasies are, I like 7 and I like 6. I think a big reason why 7 improved for me, oh my gosh, there's physics. Physics! Well, a big reason why 7 is big for me is, I really like Crisis Core, and I think Crisis Core kind of helped. I think 7 on its own stands... I mean, I think it stands really well on its own anyways, but, I just like 7. I like the world. I like every character in 7. There really isn't, like, a weak character for me.
Cloud! Up here! Look up! I said look up! Not
Up.
that way! Right! Careful up here. This could collapse at any moment. If you want up, you'll have to use those stairs.
So I can talk to random people?
If you really want to get to the station, you can always climb those stairs. Try picking your way across the level.
Cool, world is kind of interactive.
Has trouble walking. Need a stretcher. ASAP. We'll get you to a doctor soon. Hang in there.
Station's intact. What the?
This place really got messed up. Oh shit. Flashback. I think it's clever how they kind of tie in the flashbacks to this. It's a way to cut corners. I mean, if they're gonna do... I mean, they have to do a sequel to this remake. They have to keep this whole remake thing going, so... I guess it's good that they cut corners on some of the flashbacks, because they're gonna have to cut more corners later. And, to make all this work. I don't know how many remakes they're gonna do. I feel like they should just do 2. But unfortunately I think they're gonna have to extend it into like 3.
It couldn't be. But then...
Oh yeah, no, I think most people like Waka. He's got a good actor, charismatic guy. some people found Tidus to be a little bit annoying. I don't mind Tidus. I like Tidus more than the guy from 9.
Wait.
I don't really like Zidane, whatever his name is, from 9 that much. Mainly because he's like a womanizer, but he's like a kid, which I think is kind of weird. He's like 16-year-old, but he's like bragging about, I don't know. He was just a weird character. He was like a monkey kid. Like, he was a monkey kid that was a womanizer. Like, just an odd character. I don't know.
I killed you with my own...
Oh, you need...
Yeah, it is going to get confusing.
It was the crowning moment of our time.
They had to port this to PS5.
But that was then, and this
so,
is now.
They did.
I have a favor to ask. Our beloved planet is dying. Slowly. Silently. Painfully. Can you bear to see the planet suffer? Cloud. Were the planet to die, so many things would be lost. Your hometown, that burned so bright. The sound of her voice, pleading from despair. The shiver of her flesh, yielding to cold steel. That which binds us together would be no more, and I would be loath to live in such a world, which is why I must ask you this one favor. Don't worry, it's a simple thing. Run, Cloud. Run away. You have to leave. You have to live.
You bastard!
I'm from California.
Good, Cloud. Very good. Hold on to that hatred.
I'm seeing things. Fumes from all the Mako, maybe. All right. You got this.
Alright, so I assume we're gonna run into Aerith soon here. Or Aerith.
What's happening down there?
I have to get to the station.
Wow,
Quickly!
can't go this way.
We have to get him out!
Military's on the way. Once they're here...
There's no time! He needs help now!
The COVID stuff, it's okay. You know, I think the number that COVID is right now across the entire country was at one point the number that it was in California alone. And specifically like Los Angeles and Southern California, that area was really hiking it up. Is it still restrictive? Yeah, no, it is, but it's, I mean, it's getting better.
Sure, we could try the alley, but is getting to the station really worth breaking our necks over?
Yes, because we won't.
Sports-wise, I mean, I just watched a Dodgers game earlier in Los Angeles on TV, and, there were people that had masks, and there were some people that didn't have masks. It was all kind of socially distanced, but they had a good amount of people there. It's a big stadium, though. South Carolina's pretty open. It's good.
This is an alert from the Shinra Emergency Operations Center. An evacuation order has been issued to the occupants of buildings in the vicinity of the Sector 8 Expressway. You are advised to vacate the area immediately. The explosions at the reactor have caused numerous...
Yeah, it's been interesting to see how the different states react to this stuff, because, I mean, yeah, no, a lot of people in California are not happy with how the state has reacted to it. It's just a lot of people are not happy with our governor.
Expect us to evacuate. To think,
Especially people that own restaurants. A lot of them, they're really not happy.
Don't let the intruder escape.
There was a thing where in Los Angeles there was a girl that owned a restaurant, and she was completely restricted on what she could do, and she got shut down anyways. And like right next to her restaurant there was some kind of Hollywood set for a movie, and they had full catering and no distancing or anything. Like, I mean, probably some distancing, but she was really pissed off and just like really like just furious and crying, and just like she said that she followed every regulation, every step, all that.
Hey, are you okay?
Hey, it's Eris.
I'm fine.
Here, this is for you.
Huh? A flower?
That's right. It's a gift. You know, for scaring those things away.
What things?
Never mind. Think of it as a memento.
Just my luck.
Love her redesign in this. You know. I think they got her just right. Now with Cloud, I think Cloud looks fine, but I kind of prefer how he looks in the original concept art. I can't really quite put my finger on it, but there's just kind of a way he looked in the original concept art that I kind of prefer. Maybe it's because his hair was more spiky back then, because they weren't afraid to go a little bit more kind of anime. Maybe it's because of like Dragon Ball Z's popularity that it was a little bit more like Goku, I guess.
How much?
Well, that depends on the customer. In your case...
Oh yeah, it's fine. No, you can ask, anyone can ask anything, really.
Huh?
Lovers used to give these when they were reunited.
Look, I'm involved in things. Dangerous things.
Oh, I'm sure you are. So?
So keep your distance.
Wait, you think someone's out to get you? Is that what you're all worked up about? Relax. No one's going to attack you. I promise.
Hey, a Mako reactor just blew. You shouldn't be out here trying to sell...
Help me!
That's right. Yeah, he did. So here's the new spirit thing. Like the whole... like these time-traveling spirits that, mess with the timeline of Final Fantasy or something. And this is how they're, like, changing things now.
You know, you're right.
Because this remake is, like, it's a reimagining of FF7, so it's like... they're gonna change things. They're going after Eris, that's interesting. Chasing her specifically.
Sword on the ground! Right now!
Another artist that works on Final Fantasy with a lot of the concept art was, I don't know if Akira Toriyama is the one that I'm thinking of, but a lot of the kind of classical concept art, especially for like Final Fantasy VI, was very prominent in that and in 4. That artist did a lot of work for Castlevania on that art style in Symphony of the Night and PS2 games and stuff like that, and a lot of the handheld games. And I love that art style. It's this sort of almost like historical looking art that you would imagine like on kind of like a tapestry, like a Japanese tapestry or something. And I think it's associated a lot with like fashion in Japan.
That bastard couldn't have gotten far! Stay alert!
Don't want to stick around here.
It is not safe to remain indoors. Please leave your residences at once.
There it is! You're not going anywhere!
Sector 8 Unit 4, we have eyes on the target. We need backup. I repeat, this is H4 requesting immediate backup.
Nothing to it.
Now, we are going the wrong way. We should be going up here. But it seemed like the way was blocked off. Maybe we gotta go over here.
All clear. Kill!
Going in. You're done. Let's do this. See ya. That it?
Emergency operations center. The area near the expressway is still extremely dangerous.
Love those chimes. The I don't know what instrument that is, but it sounds like very kind of like metal chiming. Sounds like, yeah, that sound. It's kind of a throwback to the old school Final Fantasy soundtracks. 8 used that sound a lot.
Hey, you there!
I'm curious, how do you feel about Final Fantasy VIII?
That's that. Let's finish this. Not bad.
Emergency operations center. The area near the expressway is still extremely dangerous. Those in the vicinity are in. Do leave immediately. If you need to access the train station, please take a detour and avoid the plaza near the expressway. Train services may be suspended without warning, so just because your patrons can understand you on the train.
I could like climb that up there. But I think that's the way I came in. I like came down that way, I think. There's a lot of detail in this environment. Bar Casmo. Casino? Casmo. It does say Casmo. Welcome. Best food around breakfast and lunch. Breakfast 1 a.m. to 9 a.m. It's pretty generous. Might say 7. I think it's a 7. Yeah, it's a 7. Hamburger, hash browns, roasted chicken, fresh juice, coffee, espresso. Cheap prices. A lot of detail for a prop there. Got a Chocobo poster. Oh, Costa del Sol. Get to go there later. Yeah, I'm gonna be streaming on Twitch later. See, the quality on here is weird. For some reason, when I stream to YouTube, I get very pixelated quality, but when I stream to Twitch to some friends, for some reason it doesn't get as bad. But I was gonna switch to Twitch today, actually. I was gonna stream this game on Twitch, but I figured it was like too late at night for me to do an announcement thing. I recorded an announcement video that I'm gonna be switching to Twitch for streaming, and that'll announce when I'm streaming on here, and with the link and all that. Yeah, that makes sense. The server difference makes sense. So yeah, I'm going to be switching to Twitch and focusing on that.
The suspect is armed and dangerous. Be on your guard.
So much for the direct route.
The explosions at the reactor have caused numerous ongoing fires.
What am I missing? I'm missing something really important.
Many homes are at risk. It is not safe to remain indoors. Please leave your residences at once. I repeat. This is an alert from the FINA Emergency Operations Center.
But, yeah, there are some errors that I get when streaming to YouTube. Not just on the PlayStation 4, but also on, just normal PC games, like when I try to stream with Shadowplay. There's some errors on YouTube, and it'll crash and freeze and stuff like that. So, I do plan on switching to Twitch on my computer as well. It'll allow me to stream more games in general. Because previously I'd been kind of restricted to just streaming PS4 games. Well, I feel kind of silly here, because I don't... Is there some kind of objective? Is there intel? Enemy intel? No, that's all just like... That's like the monster manual. Climb this.
Extremely dangerous. Those in the vicinity are instructed to immediately. If you need to access the train station, please take a detour and avoid the plaza near the expressway. Train services may be suspended without warning. Should this occur?
Yeah, the PS5, it seems like it's not really worth it right now, but at least you can play PS4 games on it backwards compatible. So that makes it kind of worth it. Is there like a... Maybe I missed something important. I'll reload an autosave here. Maybe it'll tell me what to do. No, I do not have a PS5. I don't know when I'm gonna get one, to be honest. I don't have a Switch. Nah, it's okay. If it gets too bad, I can just look up where to go. I don't mind. But yeah, I don't have a PS5. I don't have a Nintendo Switch either. I actually bought a Wii U back in the day, and I felt like I got kind of burnt by Nintendo with that. because they stopped supporting it, and it just kind of, it didn't work out, so I actually really liked the Wii U, from what I did use of it. I got a lot of good use out of, like, Virtual Console games on there, and, backwards compatibility as well, with the Wii, playing Wii games on my Wii U,
well, that
stuff like that.
on the customer. In your case, it's on the house.
A lot of games that, also got, hard to find, like, the Metroid Prime trilogy, was a huge game on the Wii. It was like a remake or a remaster of Metroid Prime 1 and 2 and 3, all on the Wii, and it became really hard to find used, in retail, so when I got a Wii U, they had it digitally, so I could download and play those games. So I'd never played Metroid Prime 2 before. I'd played the first one on GameCube, but I never had the second one, so that was my way of playing that game, was through the Wii U. So I got some good stuff out of that, but unfortunately I just felt like I got burnt by that console because it ended up stopping supporting it. And,
not bad.
so I killed those guys. They're straight up not telling me where to go here at all. Which I suppose isn't really a bad thing. As long as the game design is smart.
That bastard couldn't have gotten far. Stay alert.
I want to stick around here.
The explosion at the reactor has caused numerous ongoing fires.
So we're just gonna interact with this again.
It is not safe to remain in
Yeah, I've got a friend that has a Switch. He enjoys it. He likes Mario Odyssey. He liked Breath of the Wild. I played Breath of the Wild on the Wii U. And I was like, I guess I'm in like the top, with the low 1% of people that didn't really like that game. Everyone else really liked that game. I'm a huge Zelda fan. I love Ocarina of Time. I love A Link to the Past. Though, admittedly, I got A Link to the Past later. I grew up mainly on Ocarina of Time. I love Ocarina of Time. I love Majora's Mask. I love Wind Waker. I love Twilight Princess. I even liked Skyward Sword, which again I got to play because of the Wii U, because of the eShop and being able to download it. But when I played Breath of the Wild, I remember I got that for my birthday, and I really liked the first few hours of it, but at a certain point I just came to realize it's not really what I want. Okay, so this is where I have to go. Okay, it was literally right here the whole time.
All clear.
I just have to go south, I think. They want you to run from the... I don't know, the quest marker is weird. Okay, so I can scan enemies. Military canines trained by troops from Shinra's Public Security Division. They are extremely obedient once trained and can sniff out intruders and launch ferocious attacks when ordered. That's cool, so they give a little bit of lore. And, combat advice.
Going in. Get ready. No escape. You're done. Going all out. Not bad.
Yeah, no, a lot of people thought it was a Wii add-on, the Wii U. And it makes sense, you know, like if you had a Wii and then you buy this controller that comes with it or whatever, and then it expands on it. Like, it kind of made sense that that's what it was, but it wasn't what it was. It was a whole new console, and a really weak console at that. Just like, mechanically, it was very weak. It didn't have good hardware. It had a decent GPU, but the CPU was even worse than the... I remember playing Assassin's Creed 3 on there. That was the first Assassin's Creed game I played, was on the Wii U, Assassin's Creed 3, which was an interesting experience considering how much I love Assassin's Creed.
It's over.
But I played the other ones later. I went back and played the first one, and the second one, and I'm like, wow, this series is awesome. Yeah, it had no advertising at all. It was a very strange system. But I'm kind of a loyal Nintendo fan, or I thought I was, so I was like, I don't know, it seemed like it was kind of an effort to try and appeal to more hardcore guys, because it was like, it wasn't as gimmicky as the Wii, so it felt like it was kind of trying, so I kind of bought it on sort of impulse and on trusting Nintendo, but it was a bad decision. At least the Switch is working out better for them, but I'm just not ready to purchase one. A lot of the big Switch games are just Wii U ports. Because a lot of people just didn't play them. Let's try the limit break. Yeah, it's classic.
Target still mobile. Support. Proceed to rally point at the station.
So much for the direct route. Find another way. Use the rooftops, maybe.
Yeah, what a strange, misleading quest marker. Because the quest marker was telling me to go this way, and then it literally wasn't telling me what to do. So.
But the rooftops are clear.
Over there! Open fire! Shoot to kill!
Close call.
Oh yeah, Last of Us is huge. Love Last of Us.
Be advised! Target approaching residential area! Steel hall active immediately!
Target sighted! Get him!
It's all or nothing now.
Which Mario and Zelda games are there on there? I know that you have Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, but have they ported any of the older Zeldas on there? Because they should really get down to doing that. I don't think they have, but I could be wrong. I know that they're porting Skyward Sword.
Let's do this.
But
This won't take long.
that's not necessarily people's favorite Zelda. I like Skyward Sword, but
I'll show you! Calling fire!
Nothing to it.
I see him!
Was never in doubt.
good XP here.
Confirmed! Target has entered residential area! All lockdown is in effect! All units!
Have eyes on the target! You're mine now! Target spotted! Moving to intercept! Bombs away!
Not bad.
Yeah, they really need to start porting these like legacy Nintendo games, like Ocarina of Time.
Here we go.
This is good.
And like Mario 64 and these like really important games.
Here it comes.
Damn it! I'll finish you!
That's that.
Yeah, I mean, at least they're porting Super Nintendo and NES, like, that's fine. But those games can be ported anywhere. I mean, a lot of people emulate those games on their phones, so.
Enemy combatants, you have been warned! Surrender yourself to public security immediately!
Troopers belong to Shinra's Public Security Division, protected by a large shield. They specialize in close combat, often deployed in urban districts and company installations, and used to break up violent demonstrators. People are like riot cops. Yeah, riot troops.
You're mine. Still in it.
You're mine!
Let's do this. It's over. Let's finish this.
But yeah, you know, the things that keep me loyal to Nintendo are the franchises that I love. So like, yeah, Mario, Zelda, Metroid Prime, or I should say Metroid in general, because it's not just Prime. So like Super Metroid and the classic Metroid games in the Prime series. I also like Star Fox, but Star Fox is kind of dead, unfortunately.
End of the line, punk!
I'm gonna enjoy this.
Burn. You're mine. Enough. No escape.
That was awesome.
Time to burn. Shit. Calling fire. Let's finish this. So long.
Move in! Don't let him escape! HQ, this is Sector 8, Unit 2. Target is surrounded. Moving to secure. Wait! I know that.
Guess Cloud won't be joining us after all.
No need to assume the worst. I'm sure he's fine. You saw him in action, didn't you? Guy's a soldier. Goddamn one-man army.
You think he's a keeper?
On my go. You had me worried for a minute. What the hell you been up to, huh?
Giving public security the runaround. That's what. Had to draw them away from the station somehow.
Nicely done.
Well, can't argue with results, huh? What?
Wait. Got a question for you all.
What?
Ever been attacked by an invisible enemy?
What?
Wearing robes. Came and went like the wind.
Thought they were invisible.
They were, at first. Only saw them after she grabbed me.
A new Shinra weapon, maybe?
More like a panic-induced hallucination.
Never mind. Forget I said anything.
Suit yourself. Come on, let's move up.
A lot of people here.
And in the freight car, too.
Because of the evacuation order, maybe?
Lucky us. We've got a crowd to hide in. Head for the front of the train and hold there.
Due to an explosion at Mako Reactor 1, an emergency schedule is now in effect. Your understanding and cooperation is appreciated.
Maybe the freight cost isn't so bad.
I just wanted to get home.
I haven't been down to service in years.
So cramped.
Should have gone to Sector 3 instead.
Do you mind? Trying to work here.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Hey, got a sec?
My daughter now lives in Sector 8, so...
Just called in sick.
Why don't you learn to take a hint, buddy?
Have they caught the perpetrators yet?
Why don't you learn to take a hint, buddy?
Holding up pretty well, huh? Even after what we saw at the station and all over Sector 8?
I'm a soldier.
Why don't you learn to take a hint,
My
buddy?
hands are still shaking.
You get used to it.
Something to look forward to. Or maybe not.
Why don't you learn to take a hint, buddy?
Little help, Cloud? Please?
Don't be... What kind of maniacs would go so far as to bomb a reactor?
They've yet to announce
Oh,
it
I love
publicly,
this song.
But I heard it was Avalanche's
Back in the original
doing.
game.
Really? Aren't they the terrorists who tried to kill the president?
Is there nothing they won't do?
Hey, quit talking out your ass. Everyone knows Avalanche only cares about saving the planet.
But of course I love this
Just
whole
who do you
soundtrack.
think you are?
A law-abiding,
They're all
concerned
awesome.
citizen.
Law-abiding? Really?
Shh. Antagonize him.
In my humble opinion, that explosion was a message. A message to the bastards bleeding our planet dry. Think they got it? Heard it loud and clear? Y'all's masters?
We will not submit to intimidation or violence, but work together for peace and prosperity. That is how civilized people change the world.
That's right.
That is the Shinra Creed.
There's so much detail in these environments. Like I look at the posters on the
It's
ceiling
what we
there.
believe. We all have to follow our conscience, don't we?
All the different props. It reminds me of Fallout a little bit.
Right.
Like Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. And New Vegas, too. But I feel like 3 and 4 kind of really went all out with the propaganda and the posters and stuff like that.
Man, this train is slower than molasses, am I right?
Live music every Friday and Saturday from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Jazz rock, blues. Clear icicle, mineral water. They put a lot of work into this. Music helps us escape from reality. cars.
Let's get this out of the way. Personally, I find visual aids make the dull stuff a lot more bearable. If it helps, think of it as an initiation rite.
How many times do I have to tell you people? I'm not...
There's such a thing as playing too hard to get. So, here we've got a wireframe model of the great city of Midgar, complete with massive steel plates suspended 300 meters above ground level, atop which stands a shining beacon of civilization. The whole system is sustained by the Mako reactors, which feed the insatiable appetites of the public.
The train will be passing through an ID checkpoint shortly.
This here is the train's route. As you can see, it'll take us around this main pillar. Look, we're about halfway through it now. They've set up a checkpoint here to scan the IDs of all passengers heading in and out. Date of birth, residential status, criminal history, all that and more is automatically cross-referenced in their databases. Public security wouldn't have it any other way. Heads up. Don't worry, our IDs are impeccable. What'd I tell ya? Have a little faith. Won't be long till we reach the bottom. Relax.
Take a good look. It's because of that great big pizza in the sky that people down there.
Hey, they kept that line. I thought that was a bad translation.
Shira sucks up Mako while the soil turns to dust. The air fills with smog and the flowers die.
Then leave and don't look back. That's what's always worked for me.
Well, that's all well and good. If you only...
I was always confused when Barrett said there's a giant pizza in the sky, or that Midgar's a giant pizza in the sky. Like that, I was like, that has to be a mistranslation or something, because this game was like famously bad in its translation, worse so than even like Final Fantasy VI and 4.
For yourself, but the folks down there...
I shouldn't say 4. 6 definitely. I don't know about 4.
Don't have the luxury of choice, you know.
I only played the modern version of 4 on PSP.
Like this train, I suppose. There's only one way it can go.
Well, you know what they say, there ain't no getting off this train we're on. I mean, they have to use that line at some point in this. Even though I think in the vanilla game, I think he uses it like towards the end, but they gotta throw that in here somewhere. I mean, it's a meme, so.
Hey! Over here! Oh, you guys! Daddy!
Oh, sweetheart.
I'm glad you're home.
Don't worry, I'm fine. Oh, you're...
Goodness.
Knew it couldn't be that bad. No way.
Hot damn, we are good!
Bombs detonated 1, members lost 0.
And one step closer to a brighter future.
Hell yeah!
Guys! Lower your voices, huh? People are listening.
Oh, right.
You were just yelling.
Now get some R&R. You've earned it. Just be ready for the next mission, all right? See you soon. At 7th Heaven. You know, where Tifa works. Don't keep her waiting. She'll worry.
Well, you know we won't. Loveless.
Not so now, buddy.
Yeah, this is definitely magical.
Okay, except the only place around here is the train graveyard, which everyone says is haunted. But that's cool, right?
Prayer Music Gallery. Music lovers. Love this song. This is the 7 theme, really, the overworld theme. Don't let them bleed the planet dry, Avalanche. So they're kind of like resistance fighters. I like that they were advertising for recruits.
How are people here taking the news?
It's got a lot of them worried, but not enough to stop them from partying, I guess.
Don't they realize what's
Wow, the banter is great.
Are you sure you have...
Office still there?
Somehow. As long as the trains are running, it'll be work as usual tomorrow.
So, what do we and the reactor have become? Everyone gets pissed off when we stop working. I need a new job.
Let's go someplace a little less crowded.
Okay, except the only place around here is the train graveyard, which everyone says is haunted. But that's cool, right?
Rain check?
Train services have concluded for the day. We will provide an update on the schedule tomorrow morning. Thank you for...
You know, back in the 90s, there was definitely a trend to be a little bit more edgy, a little bit more, like, serious. You see it a lot in comics, you see it a lot in culture. You actually see it really a lot in the 80s, too, to go a lot more, like, kind of hardcore and edgy, but... Also in video games back then, there was a lot of soul. There was a lot of, like... You know, it felt wholesome. It felt... There was some... I mean, they had the edginess to it, but they also had, like... a lot of heart to it, because they knew that they were doing something special. The people that make games, I mean, they knew that they were doing something special when they had such low budgets, when they didn't have... when it was smaller, you know? They knew that they were telling stories that no one else was telling. And I love some of the banter here. It's a classic thing. I love it. I love it. And you know what it reminds me of is actually BioWare. Old BioWare. Good BioWare. It reminds me of, like, Dragon Age. Like Dragon Age 1. And, you know, the old banter that you would see in, like, Baldur's Gate 2 and stuff like that.
So the Mako reactor's broken?
For now.
How much is enough fried march? A handful or... Hear me out. A whole heap?
I wish I could tell you, but sadly, I don't share your passion for processed food.
You know, and speaking of Baldur's Gate 2, it's so important to have a world that feels alive and real. And Midgar is no exception. Midgar is a city that just has that feeling, where it's a city that glows, it's a city that matters. And when you have an RPG that's set mostly in a city, or set in a city for a great duration of time, it's always... you know, important that they characterize that city and they make it feel real. And again, reminds me of, like, BioWare, like good BioWare. The way the Baldur's Gate 2 city is in I forget the name of that city. It's like Athlotka or something like that. Or Kirkwall in Dragon Age 2. I know a lot of people don't like Dragon Age 2, but similar sort of idea. I love it. There's nothing I love more than an RPG with a city that has soul in it, that really feels like you entered it and you just... It just feels like something you've never seen before. I think of, like, Megaton in Fallout 3. I think of a lot of cities in Fallout, for that matter, like Novak and stuff like that. Or... even Shady Sands and, like, Junktown and, like, the early cities in Fallout 1.
Apparently Shinra thinks it's a group called...
New Reno is also a great one in Fallout 2. Love all the random city banter in that.
Huh. Mako is the lifeblood of the planet, Yeah, the hell it is. Goddamn eco-warriors with their dumbass posters. I tear them down and they're back up inside of an hour. Like I've got nothing better to do. I mean, look at all that steel work. You trying to tell me that's not progress? What the... You okay, buddy? Mako junkie, huh? Figures.
Oh god. The time travelers.
You again.
I don't remember you in the PS1 game.
That hot shower can't come soon enough. I can barely tell my skin from all the ash and sweat.
When I get back, it's refueling time.
Alright.
I don't know. Figure out how I...
Excuse me? Due to an emergency, entry into this area is prohibited. Sorry for the inconvenience.
You call that a warning?
No, sir!
It's Tifa's theme.
Once again, police supplies are currently being distributed in the lobby of the Shinra building. Doctors are also stationed at the building's evacuation center. If you are unable to reach the building on your own, please contact the nearest Shinra employee for assistance. Mayor Domino, in conjunction with President Shinra, has declared a state of emergency in Midgar. The administration has issued assurances that they are doing everything in their power to provide aid to those most in need. As yet, no group has taken responsibility for the attack, but security services are working tirelessly to identify those involved.
What do you know? That ain't half bad.
There's 7th Heaven. There's Tifa.
Arlene.
Daddy, you're home!
That's right, Angel, I
Welcome
am.
back.
Have you been a good girl?
Yeah, I've been helping Tifa.
Oh, you did you? Well, well.
You made it. Where'd you get that? I can't remember the last time I saw a real one. Huh? How sweet. When did you get so thoughtful?
Guy can change. Has been 5 years.
Huh?
I need to talk to Barrett.
Right. Come on in.
Daddy, the Mako place blew up. Everyone on TV's talking about it.
Don't you worry about all that silliness. Daddy's here and he's not going anywhere tonight. Now turn that thing off and let's get you to bed, huh?
Contact the nearest Shinra employee for assistance. Mayor Domino, in conjunction with President Shinra, has declared a state of emergency.
You know, I'm so glad that this game, even if it's an incomplete remake, I'm so glad that this game is exposing people to Final Fantasy VII, because a lot of people, like, could not go back to that older game, and I understand why. And even if it's an incomplete version of this, I think it's really cool that it's giving people a way to experience this story, even if it's not the complete thing.
Do you mind keeping Marlene company until I'm done with this?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, your money. Ask Tifa. She takes care of all that. Hey! What the hell you think you're doing, scaring my daughter like that?
Daddy says never talk to strangers.
That's right, honey, I do say that. What a good girl you are remembering Daddy's lessons. You know what else good girls do? They go to bed on time. Come on.
But I'm not tired. I want to talk some more, Daddy.
All right. But just this once.
So then, what can I get you?
My money. I'm still waiting on it.
Right. About that, we should talk outside.
Daddy? Did the people who died all return to the planet?
Of course.
Before we get on to money, there's an empty apartment in a place just down the road. It's nothing fancy, but I was thinking you could stay there for now. The landlady's a big friend of the cause, so you wouldn't even have to pay rent. Sound good?
Sure does. Thanks.
Follow me then. How was it up on the plate?
It was chaotic.
Sorry for dragging you into all this. It was wrong of me to put you in danger like that. I promise I won't do it again.
Danger's part of the job. Don't worry about me.
I'll try not to.
Always happy to help stick it to Shinra.
How'd that go?
Not good.
I feel bad for some of the classic
So,
Final Fantasy
you make
VII
nice with
actors that worked on Advent
could,
Children and Crisis
Maybe not
Core,
enough for them.
Good. You had me
and Kingdom
worried.
Hearts for that matter,
You're
because
not
they
exactly a people person.
they kind of got kicked out with this. They got new actors, but the actors
saw
sound
Sector 8
pretty
on the
similar
news.
to the old ones.
It was
This
like
guy
a
playing
war
Cloud,
zone.
he sounds a lot
The
like
news
Steve
is just
Burton.
another Shinra mouthpiece. They'll
who
spread whatever
used to
lies
voice
Shinra
Cloud.
tells them to.
They saw
So,
it burning.
it wasn't that bad?
Reactors were safe.
It was.
Oh, right. And here we are. Good old Stargazer Heights. You're on the second floor. Room 201 here is where I sleep. Don't have time for much else, what with 7th Heaven and all. Not even time to decorate. Here's your room, 202. Don't worry, I already told the landlady about you.
You did?
Yes? Oh, I mean, I told her I had a friend looking for a place to stay. Was that too much?
No. It's fine. And this?
That one's, know what? It's getting late. I'll introduce you tomorrow. It's a little bare, but should be enough to get you through the night. If you want anything else, we can always get it.
There's one thing. My money. You guys owe me 2,000, remember?
I do. And we'd love to settle up, especially since this was your first job for us, but...
That's it?
Sorry. We spent the rest preparing for the mission. That really is it. But not for long. I'm collecting money for filters tomorrow, so I can pay you after.
And you're sure about that?
Of course, as long as you help, that is. Wait, then I'd have to pay you for that too. Never mind.
No, 2,000's enough. That's what we agreed on, so that'll be the price. With what you gave me, that leaves 1,500.
You're the best. I'll see you bright and early at the bar then. Thanks again for everything. Sleep tight.
Guess it's time for introductions. Hey, You okay in there?
Sounds like a zombie.
Coming in.
It's like Resident Evil. Oh, that's a bitch. Your sword is so big that it hits the ceiling when you try to draw it.
Cloud, stop! Get back inside! Get off me!
This remake is so weird.
What are you doing to Marco? This is his apartment. He's got a few problems, but he's not a bad guy. The landlady asked me to check on him now and then to make sure he's okay. Can I ask you to do the same?
Sure.
Damn, that looks good. Reminds me of Star Wars. Reminds me of like Coruscant's Undercity. The way that all looks. Of course, I've got Star Wars on my mind though because I recently did a Star Wars sort of marathon commitment. Star Wars commitment 2021. What I did was I played KOTOR 1, I played KOTOR 2. I wasn't gonna play Star Wars The Old Republic, the MMO, but I ended up doing that too. I played a smuggler. And while I was doing that, I listened to an audiobook of Star Wars Plagueis. Star Wars Darth Plagueis. Which I've listened to before. So I'm just listening to that again. And then, I also did Star Wars Cloak of Deception, which is a great book. If you ever read Plagueis, read Cloak of Deception. Goes very well with it. And I would recommend Cloak of Deception on its own anyways. It adds a lot to the Phantom Menace. Then you get to the I got to the Phantom Menace, watched that, played Star Wars Bounty Hunter, which is a good game, underrated. If you don't play that game, then I'd recommend looking up the cutscenes online. They hold up pretty well. A lot of great characterization for Jango Fett and Zam. And yeah. Then I watched Attack of the Clones. Then I watched some episodes of the Clone Wars, but not that many because I had to limit myself a little bit because I can't go too crazy. I mean, I was already going crazy enough as it is. I don't want to burn out to that point. And then after that, I watched. Well, what episodes did I watch of Clone Wars? I watched some episodes from Season 2. I like Season 2. Skipped a lot of Season 3, but watched some of 3. I watched all, like, the Night Sisters stuff and the Darth Maul arc and all that. And then I watched the last episodes of Season 6 and the last episode of Season 7, because there's a new season. The last stuff with, like, Ahsoka and all that. And, yeah, and then I watched Episode 3. Then I watched Episode 4, 5, and 6. Oh yeah, I also watched Solo and Rogue One, of course. If you want my opinions on all those, I feel like, Well, I don't know. When it comes to Star Wars, I've got...
Well, now, you must be Cloud.
I've got different opinions on it.
I'm Marl, your landlady. So how'd
I'll
you
talk
like
about it
the
after this dialogue.
You from up on high?
I've been around.
I'll bet. No matter. All kinds come through with all kinds of reasons. If you ever need an ear to bend, I'll lend you mine. Can be about anything, even Tifa.
What's she to you?
The granddaughter I never had. And if you hurt her, I'll take it out of your hide. You hear me?
Loud and clear.
Good. Now you'd best get a move on to 7th Heaven. She's got a head start on you, and then some.
So yeah, anyways, what I was gonna say was, when it comes to the Star Wars films, I have an opinion on it that some would find disagreeable. Some people really don't like the prequels, if that wasn't obvious. I like... I'll say it this way. I like Revenge of the Sith a lot. Revenge of the Sith, I think, is my favorite Star Wars movie. It's probably the best one for me. Especially if you do everything that I just said. Like, if you read all that stuff, if you play the video games, if you watch the Clone Wars, listen to audiobooks, all that. If you consume all that stuff, and then you watch Revenge of the Sith, it lives up to the hype. All the payoff really is worth it. Seeing the fall of the Republic. It all has great payoff, and I really love Revenge of the Sith, even with some of its problems, which it has a couple, but, I even think Hayden Christensen is a little bit underrated in that movie, because I don't like Hayden Christensen in Attack of the Clones, but I think his acting, I think he brought it back in Revenge of the Sith, and really it really gave a pretty good performance overall, especially with his, like, sort of facial acting and the way he emoted. So I like Revenge of the Sith a lot. So Revenge of the Sith I like a lot, and the most controversial thing is probably Phantom Menace. I really like Phantom Menace. I don't like Attack of the Clones. So that's kind of my opinion of the prequels. I like Phantom. I don't like Attack of the Clones, and I love Revenge of the Sith. But Revenge of the Sith is better than Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace has a lot of problems. Obviously. I mean, it's like saying, the sky is blue. Like, Phantom Menace has problems, yeah. You know, everyone has huge problems with Jar Jar, and yeah, Jar Jar's not very funny. He can be kind of annoying. I don't find him that annoying. Like, I don't think he ruins the movie for me. Maybe it's just because I've watched the movie so many times, I just don't even think about it anymore, but,
Was thinking I might chat up Marl myself. She knows a
yeah,
lot.
and then Attack of the Clones, I've got big problems with the writing in it. I think the dialogue and the acting is really rough. And I know people will say, like, well, the dialogue and acting is rough in Phantom Menace, and it's like, yeah, I mean, the writing is kind of stiff. I think the performances are stiffer than the writing itself. I think Lucas maybe did a poor job directing some of those actors. I think there's also a lot of, like, kind of foreign actors, like Shmi Skywalker. She's, I don't know what, I think she's, like, Swedish or something, or Finnish. She has kind of an accent, and I think it makes her performance a little bit off sometimes. Liam Neeson's good, but he's a very kind of soft-spoken kind of guy. Sometimes I think the Phantom Menace is bettered by subtitles to kind of help understand some of these characters a little more. Watto has a weird accent, so he's really hard to understand. The Nemoidians, like Newt Gunray and all them, they all are kind of hard to understand because they're weird accents. So I think some of the accents make the acting weird in that movie, but I think that the script itself is okay overall. I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be. And I hate to, you know, do any sort of whataboutism, but I think that clunky dialogue and Star Wars kind of go hand in hand. It's kind of always been clunky. I think the prequels are worse, but there's some strange lines in the original trilogy as well. I think specifically in Return of the Jedi, there's some weird stuff. But, yeah.
What's gonna happen to Midgar?
My husband decided to...
So yeah, how I'd rank them, I think Revenge of the Sith is my favorite. Then A New Hope would be next. I really like A New Hope. I like A New Hope more than Empire Strikes Back, which is kind of a minority opinion, I guess. Not too many people agree with that, but some people agree with that. I think a lot of film students or like film class people would probably agree with that because of how A New Hope is paced and how it kind of is a really interesting representation of the hero's journey and all that. People look back with more of a fondness on A New Hope sometimes, but yeah, I'd say Revenge of the Sith, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, number 4, then I guess The Phantom Menace, but I think Solo, a Star Wars story, is better than The Phantom Menace. I like Solo a lot. I really like all the, I've got some problems with Solo. Like, I don't like how it ends. There's some problems with it, but I really like all the acting, or all the actors in Solo. I really love Woody Harrelson, and Alden Ehrenreich does a good job, and what's that guy's name? Donald Glover. Yeah, he's cool. He does a good job. Emilia Clarke is great. You know, they're all great. I really like the actors in Solo. Someone's pushing.
You won't get the best of me. It's like they don't even care a reactor blew up.
So yeah, like, Solo is kind of better than Phantom Menace, but
Last I knew, he was
I don't know.
posted in
I kind of grew up with Phantom Menace. That's the first Star Wars movie I ever saw, and like I'm a little bit nostalgic about that one. I've got a little bit of the bias, and I think the book Darth Plagueis especially helps that movie. So even though Solo is kind of a better movie than Phantom Menace, I might rank Phantom Menace a little higher, but just by a touch. Solo is really well made. Ron Howard does a great job with Solo.
Time to shut your stuff.
Oh my gosh, that guy's freaking out. But Ron Howard was originally gonna direct Phantom Menace, because Lucas really wanted Ron Howard to direct it, but Ron Howard didn't because he said it's just too ambitious and you gotta do it yourself. You're just doing too much, like doing the Fall of the Republic and everything. It's just, there's too much lore, it's too crazy, so... Spielberg also said the same thing. Lucas wanted Spielberg to do Phantom Menace.
Hey. Just so you know,
But
Marlene's
everyone
still
said no, because they read the script.
Let's get down to business,
And they
shall
were
we?
like, this is crazy.
These water filters won't replace themselves. Although the next batch probably could, if Jessie put her mind to it. Most every home in the area has one. Folks love them because they practically eliminate the rotten egg smell. Honestly, they make us more money than this place. And it's easy money too. We bring new filters, collect the old ones, and get paid. What?
Give me a break. I'm not a salesman. I'm a soldier.
Which is why no one will refuse to pay. What do you say? Please?
Let's get this over with.
Great. And while we're at it, I'll give you the grand tour.
So yeah, and then of course Attack of the Clones is the worst one, for me. Not that Attack of the Clones doesn't have some merit here and there, it does, but I think the best thing about Attack of the Clones, unfortunately, is that it leads into Revenge of the Sith. That's kind of the only thing it's got going for it. Otherwise, I mean, if Attack of the Clones stood on its own, then forget about it. It doesn't even matter. Like, I'd hate that movie, but because it ties into the other ones, it kind of gets a little bit of a free pass, because you kind of need it. You need to get from point A to point B. And to go from Phantom Menace to Revenge of the Sith, unfortunately, you need Attack of the Clones, so it's kind of the way it is. But, below Attack of the Clones... nice smooth jazz in the background. But below Attack of the Clones... I hate to say this, but I think I'd put Rogue One there. I know people like Rogue One. I liked Rogue One a lot when I first saw it. I would have ranked Rogue One easily above Attack of the Clones before. And above Solo even, back when I first saw it. Because I didn't really like Solo that much when I first saw it, but the second time it kind of registered for me better. But, kind of like, these characters just aren't doing it for me. They're just kind of, they're too one-note. And it, unfortunately, makes that movie kind of boring. I think Rogue One's not a great movie, but has a really great ending, and that kind of makes up for it, so Rogue One, it has that going for it, but I don't know. I might rank it over Attack of the Clones, because Attack of the Clones is pretty egregious, but at the same time, Rogue One isn't as important, I guess, so you kind of need Attack of the Clones to see how the Clone Wars start and all that, so.
Seeing as you didn't bring any luggage, I'm guessing there's stuff you need to buy.
In fact, in some ways, Rogue One kind of makes things worse, because it doesn't always line up with,
Barrett's out making his rounds too.
With A New Hope.
As long as I get it all today.
Oh yeah, and then the sequel trilogy, forget about it. I'm kind of biased against it. I'm not into the sequel trilogy. I think Episode 7 is okay, but the problem with Episode 7 is that Episode 7 leads into Episode 8. Like, Episode 7 doesn't really stand on its own very well. So, because it's so serialized, right? Like Attack of the Clones is really a bad movie, but Attack of the Clones leads into Revenge of the Sith, which is good. So, like, at least I think it's good, and I think most people think it's good. So, or at least the best of the prequels. So, like, you know, there's a little bit of payoff with Attack of the Clones. Episode 7 is fine. Like, it's okay. It's, like, competent. But it leads into Episode 8 and Episode 9, which, look, one way or the other, you're going to come down being disappointed. Because Episode 8, some people like Episode 8. I personally don't. But even the people that liked Episode 8 kind of hated Episode 9, typically. Because Episode 9 kind of retconned 8 and treated 8 worse and was weird with 8. So, like, that's a whole other thing, you know? And it's like, it's unfortunate. Because if you liked 7, then you were ultimately let down one way or another. Because if you liked 8, then you were disappointed with 9. And if you hated 8, then I don't think 9 won you back. If 9 did win you back, then it would have won you back just barely. Like, 9... I hate 9, to be honest. I mean, I only saw it once. I think 9 is the worst out of all of them. Which, again, I don't know. That might be a minority opinion, because, I think most people tend to dislike 8 more. A lot of the film critics really liked 8, which I find to be puzzling and strange. I guess they liked it because it subverted what people thought Star Wars is. And I can appreciate that on some level. You know, like, my favorite Star Wars story of all time is KOTOR 2. And KOTOR 2 kind of subverts your Star Wars expectations and kind of is a deconstruction of Star Wars in the way that, like, Watchmen is a deconstruction of superheroes. Like, KOTOR 2 kind of deconstructs things. And that's kind of what The Last Jedi was trying to do, is kind of trying to deconstruct Star Wars, but the problem is that it ended up looking like a slap in the face. Like, Watchmen deconstructs superheroes while still feeling like an homage. KOTOR 2 deconstructs the Force and the Star Wars mythology and still feels like an homage and still feels like a love letter to Star Wars and to Star Wars fans. Episode 8 felt like a deconstruction and a hostile takeover and a slap in the face because of how they kill off the characters and how it sort of... Some of the lines, like, you know, destroy the past or kill it if you have to, or whatever that line was, which was kind of meta-textual because it had double meaning, because they were killing off characters that you loved from the original trilogy and making way for the new guard of Disney and whatever shit they want to do. Like, yeah, it was unfortunate.
All the items you could want, straight from the place.
Yeah, so a little Star Wars rant there. All had a timestamp. If anyone wants to listen to that on its own.
Hey there. We've got anything
Here to change out your water
you could
filter.
possibly be looking for.
Tifa, baby, how you doing? Been waiting for you to... Wait, who's he?
Cloud's in charge of collections. He'll take your money.
Sounds like a pretty sweet gig. If you ever need someone to fill in, I'm your man.
In your dreams, maybe.
Huh?
Cloud! Since we're here, maybe we should do a little shopping.
Suppose I could take a look?
All that good materia. Deadly dodge materia. Attack command will do area damage immediately after dodging. Yeah, that's pretty good. But I think healing kind of matters more, so kind of need that. One other thing that I would say about Star Wars, by the way, is, if I were to make Episode 7, like, if I had the choice, right? Like, first off, I wouldn't do it, because I feel like it's almost, in a way, a sort of, like... This is a stupid way of putting it, so I apologize in advance, but it's like it's like nerd sacrilege, almost, to me, to, like, make any sort of sequel to Return of the Jedi. I know that they did it in the books and all that, and I know that people like those books, like the Thrawn trilogy. I never read those. But people get into those, and that's cool. There's some stuff there that I like, based on what I have read up on the Thrawn trilogy. And I like the idea of Grand Admiral Thrawn kind of running the Empire after the Emperor died. Like, some of those concepts are cool, like a Grand Admiral kind of taking over. So, like, you know, the sort of military side of that, and then like the whole thing with the clone of the Emperor, like there was the Emperor cloned himself. I don't like that idea because it sort of devalues Vader's sacrifice, and the whole Chosen One thing, how he fulfills 2 prophecies with the Sithari legend of destroying the Jedi from the Sith perspective, and the Jedi prophecy of destroying the Sith from the Jedi perspective, that Vader sort of paradoxically resolved both prophecies. So, like, Vader is super important for that in the mythology of Star Wars. So, it kind of cheapens it when you just bring Sidious back. However, I like the idea of bringing Sidious back as an... Well, what I mean is, let me rephrase that. I like the idea of Sidious attempting to bring himself back, rather than actually bringing him back, because the whole thing with Darth Plagueis was that Darth Plagueis was trying to cheat death and trying to become, like, immortal. And, that whole thing is, like, you know, what Sidious probably planned on doing. Sidious wanted to be immortal. So, because of that, you know, it's really important that Sidious had some kind of backup plan in case he died. The problem is that I think his backup plan shouldn't have worked. I think it should have been lore, that, like, Sidious had plans of cloning himself, but he ended up not doing it in the end because he became arrogant and just didn't follow through. But that the thought that he had plans, or the concept that he had plans to extend his life like Plagueis, that makes sense to me. As a sort of continuation of the Plagueis storyline and what was set up in Revenge of the Sith. But if I was making an episode 7, I wouldn't make an episode 7, but if I had to, what I would do is I would make an epilogue. I wouldn't make episode 7, 8, and 9. I would just make it Star Wars episode 7 epilogue. It'd be called epilogue, and it would, or if it's not called epilogue, it would be called, like, some other title. I had a name for it because I was thinking about this earlier. The name would be like I kind of like the name The Last Jedi. So you could use like a name like that for the movie, or you could use, like, you could combine The Rise of Skywalker and The Last Jedi, like The Last Skywalker. I think that would be a cool name too. You could do that. But either way, you do one last Star Wars movie, and you just make it kind of an epilogue. Because as much as I love Return of the Jedi, and I do like the ending overall, that movie kind of lacked an epilogue. It kind of left things very open to your imagination, which I think is a good thing and has its own merits, but for a universe as deep as the Star Wars universe, I think it's okay to have a sort of epilogue of some kind, where they explain what happened after. So if I were to make an Episode 7 or a Star Wars prequel or a Star Wars sequel to the original trilogy and all that, then I would definitely make it some kind of like epilogue movie. It would be like a standalone, like one-off, and maybe I'd have like a really good director do it, like Christopher Nolan or something. Kind of a dream movie, but yeah. And then you could probably like tackle the whole Wills thing that Lucas wanted to do, because Lucas was all into the Wills concept and all that. You could kind of touch on that. Have like old man Luke, you know, dealing with that.
Thanks. If you're ever in the market for anything else, drop on by. Especially if Teef is with you.
We'll see you around, okay? And let us know when your filter next needs changing.
All the items you could want, straight from the plate.
He's a regular. Stock up here and he might throw in a freebie or two.
For you, maybe.
Well, you could try being a little nicer.
To get free shit? Not my style.
Our next stop is Stargazer Heights. Landlady's a client.
Just met her.
Then you know what to expect. Remember, she's a good friend of Avalanche, so be nice. Please?
One Star Wars game that I plan on playing is Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy. I actually haven't played those. So, after finishing this big Star Wars marathon, I do still kind of want to play those, but like I said, the sort of nerd sacrilege thing, I don't know, like, it's not really that bad. Like, it's okay. Like, you can make sequels to Return of the Jedi and sort of address things, but you gotta be kind of careful when you're doing that. I think in Jedi Outcast, all it is they have Luke at his Jedi Academy in Yavin, and I think that's about the extent of it.
Hey, Marl. Got some filters for ya.
Which I don't mind, that's fine. I don't care.
Dear, dear girl. Oh, what's he doing here?
Working?
Be nice. Cloud's helping me with collections.
You better take care of her.
I'm pretty good at taking care of myself, you know.
That I do. Still, better him than you. No charm, no wit. Big sword, but no skills.
I've got skills.
Be nice.
I'm doing my best.
You're looking awfully glum. Are you getting enough sleep? A good long rest to cure anything, I tell you.
A tried and true lesson for life on the ground floor. Am I right?
That you are. Now, your money.
Am I right, Marines?
Thanks, Marl.
Sure,
you
yes,
take care
sir.
of yourself.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Damn right I am. Right.
Marl's great. She helped get me set up back in the day.
You been here a while now?
5 years, give or take. But never mind that. We've got to get you your money. Last stop is the weapons store.
Trains don't start moving again. Goods to go around.
Hey, if it isn't Tifa.
You here for the filter?
Hey! That last filter didn't do shit!
We're so sorry about that. Hopefully this one will work better.
Save your excuses and get out!
All right. If you could just settle your bill, we'll be on our way.
The hell? You charging me for your busted-ass goods?
My associate handles payment disputes.
Think you can mosey up in here and have it your way?
Pretty please.
Thank you very much. Seeing as we're done with our rounds and you've got a small fortune now, why not take a gander at the weapons?
Well, when will Barrett be back with the rest?
before we open up tonight. It'll be a while yet, so... what do you want to do?
Don't really know.
In that case, I've got a suggestion. Want to hear it? If you're serious about becoming a merc, then you're going to need to start making connections. It's not what you know, but who you know, you know?
Another lesson for life on the ground floor?
Yep. Connections get you jobs. Jobs build your rep. And more rep gets you better connections.
How do I start?
Why not help out the Neighborhood Watch? They're mostly volunteers, but you'll get to know people.
Yeah, okay.
Didn't see anybody at the office, so let's head up top.
No better way to keep you and your family safe than with a weapon of your own. Come and check out our selection. Speak with our friendly staff to find the perfect weapon for you and your needs.
Huh? I ain't got nothing for a punk-ass bitch like you! Get on out of here!
No better way to keep you and your family safe than with a weapon of your own. Come and check out our selection.
We gotta do something about the monsters on Scrap Boulevard.
I'll head on down there first thing tomorrow.
Not alone, you won't.
Someone looks like they're having a bad day. Try getting more sleep. That's the best cure down here. Hold on. Don't tell me you're making that face because you think it looks cool, are you? Someone looks like they're having a bad day. Try getting more sleep. That's the best cure-all down here.
Monsters come into town? We'll be the first to warn everybody.
Tifa? Where am I supposed to go?
Huh. Didn't know you were holding down the fort.
Huh? Oh, hey, Cloud. Looking to join the Neighborhood Watch?
That depends. What does this Neighborhood Watch do?
Lots of stuff, really. Our top priority is taking care of any beasts that wander into town. That, and teaching the locals how to defend themselves.
Like they say, the only one who will look out for you is you.
Cloud's a great fighter, but only we know that. If no one knows him, no one will hire him. Thought if he joined the Watch, he could get his name out there.
That would work for everybody.
Truth be told, we could really use your help. We can't pay you in gil, but we'll work something out. For example... Aha! What about your sword? I could mod it for you.
No thanks. It's fine just the way it is.
What? You some kind of purist? I know I'd never pass up a chance to improve my gear. Come on. At least let me show you how it's done.
I like that you can see, I think that's like a Mako crystal. You can now enhance your weapons, spend SP skill points to unlock special skills. Skip that. Kinda know how this works, I think, as long as it's similar to the original game.
All set? Needless to say, you'll have to try it out to appreciate the difference.
Thanks.
We'll do you one better. Spread the word to everyone who'll listen about the new merc in town.
Between him and Wedge, there isn't anyone they don't know.
I'll march through the streets singing your praises, even on an empty stomach.
So, where are these monsters?
Scrap Boulevard. Good hunting.
Hey, Cloud, I'll come with.
No, I've got this.
But you don't know the way, do you?
Lead on.
Sure thing. I know these streets better than anyone.
Oh, it puts a new Mako crystal into his sword. That's really cool.
Scrap Boulevard is out west. Past the barricades, supposed to keep the monsters out. Anyway, we should prepare, just in case.
Everyone I know said they felt a lot better after fucking
So they blew up a reactor so they could save the planet? More like they want us to give up our way of life.
Yeah. Okay, wrong way. So one thing that I wanted to say. Oh, that's. To get there. A sec. So one thing I wanted to say was about the Phantom Menace. One problem that people have with the Phantom Menace, obviously, is the kid, Jake Lloyd's acting, and of course also people have a huge problem with Jar Jar. And you know, some people are more bothered by one than the other. Some people are more bothered by Jar Jar, some people are more bothered by the kid. Personally, I am bothered more by the kid than Jar Jar. I don't know what it is, for some reason I just got used to Jar Jar and his shenanigans. I don't really care. Like, he doesn't really bother me. But the kid...
Searching for candidates.
He's definitely, like, if you go back and you watch the old video of, like, George Lucas trying to get kids to play the role and, like, you know, going through with the casting process or whatever and trying to find kids to, or the right actor to play the role, there were some kids that were pretty good. There was one kid that was really good. But Jake Lloyd, I guess for Lucas, to his ear, he nailed it on one line, and then Lucas hired him on that one thing, but he couldn't repeat that line. So, like, Jake Lloyd, as a child actor, was just inconsistent. There were points where Lucas himself admits that he just couldn't get the line out of him in the way that he wanted, like, but then there were times where he got it more right. And I think Jake Lloyd in that movie, I think there are parts where he does his line okay, but then there's parts where he doesn't. I feel like it's a coin toss, almost. It's like a 50-50 of, like, is he gonna say this in a way that's weird, or is he gonna say this in a way that's like a normal kid?
Right at home.
And the more we pile up,
it's pretty
the more
inconsistent.
they show up.
It might be even worse than 50-50. It might be like 40-60. But, it's somewhere in that range, though. It's in the 50-50 range somewhere. Because I think sometimes he delivers his lines in a way that's okay. I think when they're all sitting around the dinner table with Shmi Skywalker, I think that scene's okay, actually. I actually kind of like that scene. There are some scenes that are, like, low-key, favorite scenes in the movie. Like, I really like the scene where Anakin says goodbye to his mom. I think that's a good scene. That's one of the better scenes, I think, in the prequel trilogy. Mainly because of the music. I think the music really helps, and I think Shmi's actor does a good job with that.
Show me what you got, Cloud.
But I think young Anakin's okay in that scene. Like, there's some scenes where young Anakin is okay.
Wow.
But then there's some scenes where it's just like, wow, that was really bad.
This was just... It's a warm-up.
I'll bet. Let's keep at it.
But it's also something where you can kind of cut him some slack a little bit, because he's a kid. So it's like... yeah, I don't know. It's really messed up how people bullied him. And I think everyone would agree with that. No matter how you feel about that movie.
It's on you.
Let me handle this. Too late.
I don't know if I like this combat system or not, but I definitely like some ideas in it. I think there's some really cool concepts. I like these sorts of hybrid action RPG type combat systems where they
charging in like it was nothing.
They use real time with pause.
It's a little surprising.
And it's an action
Well,
RPG.
I've been here 5 years now. If you don't look out for yourself, no one else will.
I mean, you guys know how much I love Fallout. Fallout was basically that.
So, this a lesson?
Gotta learn if you're gonna stick around. Let's watch this. All right. I think that might be the last of them.
He won't stay gone for long.
Of course not. Even so, folks will be grateful for the peace and quiet in the meantime. A win's a win, you know?
True.
Trust me, it'll do wonders for your rep. Right. Let's go check in with Biggs and Wedge.
One scene I also like from Phantom Menace, that a lot of people would have problems with, would be the stuff with the midichlorians. I think the scene... Not the first one, because the first scene where they mention midichlorians is with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. But the scene with, where Qui-Gon explains midichlorians to Anakin... I kind of like how... I really like how Liam Neeson acts in that scene. I think his acting is really good. I like, the little wink that he gives Anakin at the end of that, and just how father-like he is with him. I really love how Qui-Gon kind of represents a father figure to Anakin in that movie. And I think Liam Neeson does a good job kind of being that way, with how he acts, around Anakin and Shmi as well.
Searching for candidates.
Tally of monsters slain! Numbers for monsters slain this month! Check them out!
Huh? I ain't got nothing for a punk-ass bitch like you! Get on it!
No better way to keep you and your family safe than with a weapon of your own.
You hear someone got rid of all?
Back already?
Got every last one, too. Now the slums should be safe.
You guys are machines!
Good job. Meanwhile, we told everyone we could about you.
So I heard. I've got to ask, though. What did you tell them?
It's all right. All you gotta do is keep up the good work. It'll pay off soon enough, I promise.
How's the sword, by the way?
Good.
Glad to hear it.
This massive
Seems
fucking
like the
blade.
perfect fit for you.
Yeah.
Which,
we've been through a lot.
if you're wondering, or if you're uninformed, the reason why Cloud can use that thing, and he's kind of skinny, is, he's on drugs. He's on super drugs. He's on the Mako. And it's like steroids. You can just carry that massive
Been
thing.
meaning to ask. After you left the village...
They're like steroids, but it's
long
like
story.
magic.
I've got
He's like
time.
infused with
Why don't you tell me all
magic
about it while we try to
that
rustle up some
gives
more
him
work
super
for
strength.
you?
That
Like
sounds
Bane
great. I'll come
in Batman.
too.
Oh, no you won't.
But it's magic.
Run along now, you two.
Sorry,
Go on.
maybe next time.
It's like a magic resource that comes
Think
from the
about it
planet,
for a
the
second.
Mako.
They haven't seen each
energy.
other in years. You'd be a third wheel.
Hey, before we get back to it, why don't you check out the weapons?
No need.
Come on, the dealer's probably heard all about you by now. Might treat you better.
I don't know about that.
You hear someone got rid of all the monsters on Scrap Boulevard?
No, that was supposed to be me.
You know, there's a hole in the break room roof. We should probably get
What's
that.
our objective here?
Mercenaries?
Hey, you just opened up shop. That's that person.
That's a
Hold
giant
on.
sword.
Heard there's a merc that'll take on any monster. You the man?
Word spreads fast around here.
What if I am?
Sorry about before. I get antsy when business is slow. Man in your line of work needs weapons, no? Why not try that one on for size? Yours on the house. Badass like you rocking my weapons is good advertising. Think about it.
Fine.
Or if you want to take a look at something else.
Just a look.
Kevlar? I'll take the Kevlar.
Don't be a stranger.
Since you've got yourself a new weapon, let's see if we can't put it to good use. Come on, let's go chat up Weimer.
Who?
The guy who tracks all the requests that come to the watch. You never know. Could toss some work your way.
Where's he at?
Oh, he should be back at the office by now.
I hear you so.
Searching for candidates.
Been updated. Got new numbers for monster slaying.
Hey there, Tifa. You need a helping hand?
Actually, I wanted to introduce you to an old friend of mine. This is Cloud. He's a merc.
Ah, you don't say. Well, we're always on the lookout for experienced fighters to help us deal with the bigger critters.
I'll take on anything. For the right price, that is.
Experienced and cocky, huh? If it's a challenge you want, I might have a few good ones. Your clients can fill you in on the details. Prove yourself with these jobs, and I'll see if I can't find you some more.
Thanks.
Candidate detected. Performing physical analysis. Sizable weapon, excellent cardiovascular health and impressive lung capacity, perfectly balanced muscle and bone structure. An optimal candidate! My name is Chadley. I'm an intern for Shinra's Research and Development Division. I hope you'll be interested in helping me with my research. Please accept this as a down payment. I would like you to set that assess materia in your equipment and use it to gather intelligence in battle. This data will help me to develop new types of materia.
I'm not interested in working for Shinra.
You should know that I work actively to undermine Shinra's efforts. I'm sure you of all people can appreciate the tremendous power of materia.
This kid reminds me
as
of
well as how it
Hope
might be
from
wielded against
Final
your
Fantasy
corporate
13.
enemies. And if you later decide that I am not worthy of your trust, you can do what you do best.
I will hold you to that.
Excellent! Then we shall work together so long as you deem fit. Once you've completed your task, please return and report to me. Please set the Orb of Assess Materia to your equipment and use it to gather battle intel.
Why do I have to use your materia that you decide? Isn't the whole point of the materia system that you can do whatever the hell you want? So they give you scan, effectively. So I have, like, side quests? This is weird. I didn't buy this game because I wanted Final Fantasy side quests. I bought this game because I wanted the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Why not just remake the whole game the way it's meant to be played? Well, you gotta do something different.
Please set the Orb of Assess Materia to your equipment and use it to gather battle intel.
Okay, I kind of did that.
You're gonna have to talk to your clients if you want all the details.
Hey, you just opened up shopping area, didn't you?
I swear, all the plates are lots of. Hey, where'd you guys go? Come out. Oh, hey there. Is Marlene with you?
No.
Oh, okay. I was kinda hoping she could help me find my friends.
I know someone who can help you. This guy right here.
Really? Okay, let me tell you all about them. They have long arms and legs, and they're a little skinny. They like places where there's food, and nice people will give them treats when they ask. And small spaces. Oh yeah, and they're all cats.
I'm looking for cats.
They're friendly, so if you call them, they'll come running. All 3 of them. Find my friends, please.
I told Dad we're getting married and moving topside, but he just laughed.
They love crowded places, like the road to the station. A lot of people stop to play with them there.
What's the source?
How much do you need to buy a house on the plate? They'll also go wherever there's free food. Marlene says she always gives them some snacks when they go to 7th Heaven.
I think if there's one thing about JRPGs that I think pretty much everyone could say that it's just not the strength of JRPGs, it's side quests. They're just never good. I don't know. I mean, sometimes they're good. Final Fantasy VI had some interesting types of side quests with the way they had the character gathering. How you would, like, you know, when you reach the World of Ruin, you kind of like get the characters back and all that.
In town looking for work, right?
Yeah.
In that case, maybe you could do something about the Doom Rats? Them and their were-rat buddies have been tearing up town, looking for food and whatnot. Got into the store and made one hell of a mess, let me tell you. Oh, you think that's funny, do you? Don't lie. I saw you crack a smile. Well, do the job and you can laugh it up for all I care. Anyway, they're probably nesting in the outskirts. Now I've heard a were-rat in pain will call its friends for help. And the whole rat pack will come running just like that. Figure the pack must be nesting somewhere just outside of town. Good hunting.
All the
Things you could want straight from the plate.
Another day out.
We just have to wait, I guess.
Hey, this looks like what's...
Hello, hello! Oh, what do we have here? I'm guessing you're that merc I've heard so much about. You're not here to shop, are you? People were right. You look like you can handle yourself. So some drakes have made themselves at home in the abandoned Talagar factory. Can't have that kind of trouble around here. My regulars will do anything to get their hands on the scrap in there, and if they run into those drakes, they could get hurt.
I'll handle it.
Much obliged, sir. Head on over to the old Talagar factory and talk to Narjan. He's the watchman guarding the entrance. Good luck. I'm counting on you, my friend.
Shops on Culvert Street stock goods you won't find in more reputable establishments. So I was at the Honeybee Inn. My dreams. I don't know how much I spent on her, but I'm telling you, she's worth all the ill and then some. She sure sounds like it. I mean, hey, what's money good for if not to spend on a pretty face? Know what I'm saying?
Johnny's not a bad guy.
I think this game could have used a mini-map.
Wait, did you hear that just now? I think one of Betty's cats might be nearby.
Critters look down their noses at us.
I can tell you this. What I'm doing right now, hate to be the downer guy, but this is not why I play Final Fantasy. When I think of the things that I love about Final Fantasy, it's not this. It's not quest markers. I don't...
Think we could get some money?
And not that there's anything wrong with, like, giving you an indication on where to go or something. Like, that's fine. But, what I mean when I say quest markers isn't that quest markers are inherently bad. What I mean is, it's these side quests. I don't... Final Fantasy has had side quests in the past. They've had good ones even, but...
There's this one dude in the watch.
But didn't...
I just don't really see the point in this.
You send money back home? Hey!
Like, it just...
Did you hear that just now? I think one of Betty's cats might be nearby.
It comes across as, like, it's like a dog trying to be a cat. Like Final Fantasy having quests like this. I don't know.
I'm trying to get a cat to come out. It snatched one of my pastries and scurried in there. Will you be a dear and lend me a hand?
This sucks.
Looking good. For the love of... I'm sick and tired of chasing this little guy around.
Like, I don't get the point of this. I don't understand. Like, why can't we just continue... Well, I don't know. I'm not telling the whole truth. I do understand why they're doing this. It's because of filler. It's because they want to extend Final Fantasy VII into a multi-part game. It's like what happened with The Hobbit, where they extended The Hobbit into 3 movies. Like, you don't need to extend Final Fantasy VII into multiple games. And if you do extend it into multiple games, all you need to do is extend it into 2. You don't need to do 3 or 4 or whatever their plan is.
Ah, that was definitely a cat. I wonder if it's one of Betty's.
So they have us doing like a cat fetch quest? To like draw out the time on this thing? To get your $60 worth or some shit? Like, why not just remake the game? Like, guys, we could... It's a radical thing, but we could just remake the game. That's not to say that you can't add some new content if you want. But wasn't the whole thing that Square Enix said was that this whole game is impossible? That we can't do this? Because it would be so high budget, it would be so impossible to make this thing? Well, if it's so high budget, then why are you extending it? Why are you making it longer than it needs to be? Why are you adding filler? And it's false advertising. This game isn't a remake. And everyone seeing this probably already knows that.
It's gotta be around here somewhere.
There's a cat somewhere.
Wait, did you hear that just now? I think one of Betty's cats might be nearby.
Thinking I might have dinner at 7th Heaven tonight.
You know, you know, with this Star Wars thing that I did, where I did all the Star Wars content, books, games, whatever, movies. Well, all that stuff that I did, I tried to play Jedi Fallen Order. I bought that for like 25 bucks, and I tried to play it. And it was kind of hitting the right notes early on, where it was like, oh, this is kind of cool. This is kind of... I get a little bit of a Metroidvania vibe from it, and it's like, you know, that's kind of right up my alley. I'm a huge Castlevania fan, and I like Castlevania more than Metroid, but I also really like Metroid, especially Prime 1 and Super Metroid. But I was playing this Jedi Fallen Order game, and, like, it just wasn't doing it for me. I don't know, like, I felt like I was falling asleep. Like, I couldn't finish it. It felt like it was too long. Like, Metroidvanias don't have to be 20 hours long, they can be shorter. Think of, like, the best Metroidvanias ever, like Symphony of the Night and Metroid Prime. And even, like, games like Arkham Asylum and Arkham City and Bloodstained Ritual of the Night's another one. Like, a lot of the great Metroidvanias out there aren't really even that long. So, I don't know. And, like, Jedi Fallen Order, it's not that long, I guess? But it just felt a little long, where it just felt like it was buying its time, and it wasn't really doing anything. And it's this... It was, like, repetitive. It's like, it's the same wall-running, you know, thing. Same sort of wall-running gimmick. Again and again. And it's like, I don't need this. I don't need to be doing this again and again. It just feels like you're just extending the game to get my $60 worth out of it, when we don't really need to be doing that game. Like, we don't have to... Games get slashed in price so quickly nowadays, and they end up free. Like, this was a huge game last year, and it's already free on PlayStation Plus as of last month. And this was a huge game of last year. Like, so many big games just end up going up on PlayStation Plus for free, or Xbox Game Pass, or if not that, they get slashed in price and they're $20 on Amazon. Or even on, like, a Steam sale or on a PlayStation sale. And probably on Xbox, too. I don't have an Xbox, but I'd imagine the prices get slashed pretty quick on that. So it's like, games are cheaper now than ever. Everything gets cut in half in price nowadays, like, in just a matter of, like, a few months. I think God of War I bought that for, like, $30 5 or 6 months after it came out. So why even buy anything at $60 anymore? But now, it's like, it's always about maximizing, like, you have to get every dollar's worth out of the game. And that can be, that can be a great thing if all the content's good. But so much content is bad. I feel like more and more these days, I just feel like I'm playing shitty content that's just filler. You know, one game that's great is the Spider-Man game on PS4. I really love that game. But there's some content in there where I'm like, what am I even doing? Like, where I'm playing Mary Jane on these stealth missions. And I'm like, why? Why am I doing this? And then you get spotted and it's an instant fail. Like, why did you even put this in the game? It's just wasting my time. Like, you could have just made a shorter game that's, like, better. Instead of having to put in this, like, oh, we're throwing this in so we can mix it up. We can shake it up a little bit. In these horrible sequences that just are boring and uninspired and, you know, just totally just whatever. Shrug, whatever. I'm playing Mary Jane or Miles Morales and sneaking around some dudes. And it's true with so many games now. Like, even, you know, Metal Gear Solid 5, like, that game was filled with filler. And just meaningless content. I think Breath of the Wild kind of did that a little bit, too. But to be fair, I didn't do much of the side content in Breath of the Wild. I tried some of it. It was... Some of the side quests in that weren't very good, from my experience. It just feels like these days it's like it's quantity over quality. I haven't played the new Assassin's Creed games. I played Origins, which I liked, but I haven't played Odyssey or the new one, the Viking one. But I hear those games are just way too long, and like, it really is just like quantity over quality. And then IGN gives it like a really high score, and the biggest reason, like the big thing that they always bring up in giving it its high score is like, it's so long. You get so much content out of it. Getting your money's worth out of it. It's like, if the content's bad, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how long the game is. If the game sucks, it sucks. And these games end up having to be longer, and they don't have to be longer. Like, that's the thing with game design. Game design is just ideas. It's throwing ideas at the wall and seeing if they stick. And the thing with ideas is that ideas got to get cut sometimes to make the game work. You know, like, your great idea for a quest might have to get cut to make the game better. But it feels like nowadays a lot more ideas that are thrown at the wall end up sticking when they shouldn't. And things don't get cut down. All for the sake of
Call us if you see trouble.
just inflating a game. To the point where even a Final Fantasy remake isn't safe. Like, this is literally a remake, and you're adding, like, random shit. I'm kind of just ranting right now. I mean, I can just turn in this quest, I know. But, like, I'll just turn in this quest.
What? They ran away? So, we're never gonna see them again? You guys! You came back! They said that a scary man was chasing them. Thank you!
It's cute. It's a cute thing,
That went
you know,
well.
but
Could be you found your calling.
it's a cute quest, all that, but it's like, whatever.
It was alright, I guess.
Think of each job as an opportunity.
Yeah, it was alright, I guess.
Not to make money,
That's basically
but to
how I
build
feel.
connections.
Thanks, Cloud.
It's not what you know, but who.
Yeah.
You remembered.
Not a patient teacher.
Maybe not so patient next time.
Oh boy.
Oh, Barrett should have finished collecting his share of the money by now. So what do you want to do? Head back to the bar?
Head over to 7th Heaven. Where's that quest marker? Is that it? Yeah, but
I've been told the sewage
I know it probably sound like I'm bitching or you know, just complaining. I don't mean to tear down anything that anyone likes. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to say, yo, you shouldn't like this thing because I don't like it. Like, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just giving my issues with modern game design because it's just something that bugs me a lot, and it's something that I see in a lot of games now. It's just kind of a reoccurring issue.
Please set the orb of assessed materia to your equipment and use it to gather battle intel.
You're gonna have to talk to your clients if you want all the details.
I hear you sell swords. I want to introduce yourself. The what?
She's saying they're gonna step up there.
Was thinking I might chat up on myself.
Something's wrong. Let's check it out.
Is it a Shinra soldier?
I hope he's okay.
Stay away from me! Hold it! Settle down now.
Get off me, assholes! I didn't do shit!
Shut up, punk.
Or what, huh? Screw you!
What's going on?
Some
You're
dummy
illegal,
went
Paul.
and stole some blasting native from a Shinra warehouse. So public security started asking questions, and you know how Johnny gets.
It's because of the reactor bombing, I bet. I could be wrong, but something tells me they're not gonna settle for just roughing him up this time.
We've got to save him, Cloud.
Is he Avalanche?
No. He doesn't really know what we do. But he has his suspicions. And he's a talker. Actually, you know what? Maybe I should go alone.
I'm coming.
Are you sure?
It's the least I can do. Lead on.
Thanks. Come on.
He could go to jail. I feel bad.
Johnny's.
What the hell, man? You trying to break my arm? Dragging me through the street like this is... Ow! Cruel and unusual punishment!
Come on, let's get a closer look.
Is this any way to treat a model citizen of Midgard?
Model citizens don't steal blasting, Agent. So why don't you tell me why your ID popped when we were going over the warehouse laws?
Nice job hiding with that big spiky hair and that massive sword hilt sticking out. Hey, if it works, it works.
I swear, all he had to do was keep his mouth shut.
Yep.
Anyway, you distract the officers and I'll figure something out.
Energy drink potion. That's cool. That's really neat.
Let him go.
Hmm? Who are you? The cavalry?
Huh? Is that who I think it is? Oh, hell yeah! You guys really came to save me! Ow! Let go!
Hey! What do you think you're doing?
Here we go.
Deal with that.
I got this. Keep it up!
This game looks awesome. I'm pretty impressed with Tifa's animations.
See ya! Come on!
She looks cool when she's like kind of blurred out.
Yeah. Give him your all! Bingo!
So...
What now?
He's a talker.
Huh? Whoa. Whoa!
No!
Huh? You're not gonna... Hold up! Wait! Don't do it, man!
You want to live? Then get the hell out of town.
You got it, boss! You ain't never gonna see my face again! I swear!
Are you sure about this? It's a big risk.
I know, but it's fine.
And them?
No more. Cloud, you're scaring me. We need to go before they wake up.
Alright. I think I'm gonna call it quits for now. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning where I'm at. Which is a good time of the night. Can't say I'm even that tired, but I feel like I want to save some of this for later. I have doubts of as to if I'm gonna finish this thing. I streamed for 3 hours straight. Wow. We'll see if I finish this thing in a week. I mean, luckily it's not the finished game anyway, so there's really no pressure to finish it, I guess. It's not like I'm gonna feel any sort of sense of closure if I finish it, so I guess there's no pressure to finish it. Yeah, so trying to think of any last things to say. Kind of cool how they have like the abilities that they're showing off in the screen on the right there. A lot of games have that nowadays. Oh, that's cool. So you can like chain together hits. Nice that they give you a few different incentives to use different blades. Whoa, what the? We just entered the spear grid from 10. Or the Crystallis or whatever it is from 13. Yeah. Yeah, this is like Final Fantasy 13. For sure. Not that that's a bad thing, but you know, sure, more health, why not? That never hurts. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing else really. Trying to think of any last things. I mentioned that I am not a huge fan of Breath of the Wild earlier. Zelda Breath of the Wild. That's a whole can of worms. I almost want to open that later. That's something that I want to talk. I mean, I guess I already opened it. I shouldn't say open it later. Get into it later, because I already opened that up. But yeah, that's a game that a lot of people really love. And I've got some issues with it. Had some issues with it when I played it. That's definitely a contentious topic. I don't think it's as controversial to say that you don't like Breath of the Wild nowadays. I think back when it came out, it was really controversial. Like, no one could say anything bad about that game. It was, like, sacred. But now I think it's a little bit more accepted to be critical of it in some ways. But it is still a pretty loved game, well-loved game. But I am a huge Zelda fan. I love Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, and Skyward Sword. And I like some of the 2D ones. I played the original Legend of Zelda on the NES. I've played A Link to the Past twice. Though I am more of a 3D Zelda guy, 3D Zelda guy for sure, because those are the ones that I've played more. So yeah, like I've played A Link to the Past like twice or 3 times, but I've played Ocarina of Time like countless times, like over 10 times probably over the course of my life. And I still replay it sometimes, so that's a huge thing for me. So yeah, it's not coming from a place of like a Nintendo hater that's like, I just hate everything. It comes from a place as a Zelda fan where like Breath of the Wild, it didn't have the dungeon experience that I wanted. The dungeons in it weren't very good, if you could even call them that. They're not even really dungeons. They're very strange. The way the shrines worked, I didn't like the repetition of the shrines. I felt that the shrines were more repetitive than even like the dungeons in like Skyrim or something like that, where the dungeons in Skyrim come down to like, oh, you're in a Nordic shrine again, or a Nordic tomb again with Draugr, and with, oh, you fight a lich at the end that might have a dragon mask, and it's the same puzzle again with a claw. You use a claw and you look at the thing and then you put it in the thing and you spin the wheel. Like, I felt like I was doing that in Breath of the Wild, but it was almost worse because Skyrim at least has like Dwemer dungeons, and it has the Draugr ones, and it has like other caves and different kind, like glacial caves and stuff. Like, it was a little bit different. There's a little bit of variety in the dungeons. Of course, in Oblivion, you had the Ayleid tombs as well, the Ayleid ruins, and you had, like, normal caves. And you had, like, the fortresses and stuff like that. So you had like a little, and plus you had the Oblivion Gate. So like Oblivion had actually a good amount of variety if you think about it. Though those Oblivion Gates did get repetitive because they ended up becoming like Radiant dungeons almost, where they were just repeating the dungeons. But I think Oblivion had a little bit more variety than Skyrim even, with some of that stuff. Though Skyrim had some really cool art design. I think the Dwemer ruins looked really cool in Skyrim, especially the big one where you go deep underground and you see the giant jellyfish things. Yeah. Yeah, so like Breath of the Wild didn't even really have that. It didn't have good dungeon variety. They were all kind of the same. They even used the same music, and it's just very boring music. I found a lot of the music in Breath of the Wild to be very atmospheric, but unfortunately none of it was very memorable. It wasn't, like, it didn't really grab me. There's some songs in Breath of the Wild that I like. There's some town songs that I like, and like the song that plays when you're on the ranch. That's kind of like a rendition of the Lon Lon Ranch theme from Ocarina, where it's kind of like it uses some of those musical motifs. I kind of like that. I like some of the music in Breath of the Wild, but unfortunately it just doesn't grab me. Like, none of it really grabbed me. And then the big thing that was a huge problem was the weapon degradation system, and I think that was my biggest problem, where I'm like, I'm playing this game and I'm having weapons break so quickly, and it's like, this takes me back to like Oblivion, when weapons would break all the time, but it's even worse because in Oblivion you had repair hammers and like ways to work around it. Like in Breath of the Wild, it was just all about like on-site procurement. Like you pick up items and you use them, you waste them. So like nothing matters. Like you pick up an item and like it's good for a bit, but you have to carry around all these swords with you and switching them all the time, and there's so much inventory management. It was just annoying. Like it was kind of a chore to play. That's the biggest problem with Breath of the Wild to me. It felt like a chore. And I understand why people found sort of magic in it, because it was like a game where you could do anything in it. Like you could say, like, you have things that I found to be really annoying, like the weather system, where it'll just start raining and then thunder will come down and then it'll start striking you because you're wearing metal armor or a metal sword, and so lightning attracts to that and then it starts hitting you. Well, I found that to be incredibly annoying, but other players didn't, because they would like throw their sword and then the lightning would attract to the sword and then it would strike on someone, and it struck around a bunch of people that were in this tall grass, and then the tall grass would light on fire and kill all of them or something like that. You know, there were crazy things that you could do with fire and with grass and, like, weird sort of, like, random shit that you could do. Almost like in GTA 4 when you have, like, kind of random encounters with cops, or, like, someone might just get pulled over randomly, or someone might just steal a hot dog and run away, and then the cops will chase after them. Or you could call, like, the paramedics and then steal, like, an ambulance or something like that. Like, some of the random elements of GTA, especially in 4, and the AI in that, like, that's kind of what I think people liked about Breath of the Wild. That was kind of the charm of it, is, like, there was kind of a randomness to it that kind of created, like, video game magic in it. And I think that's cool. But I just didn't have that experience. For me, it didn't come across as video game magic. It came across as random video game frustration, where I'm, like, climbing a wall and then it starts raining, and then I slip. And it's like, well, there's nothing that I could have really done to prevent that. You just punished me for no reason. Or maybe I jump off a ledge, and then I fly with the glider, but then I run out of stamina, and then I land in the water, and then I drown. Or say I'm fighting an enemy, and then I get hit really hard, and I ragdoll around, and then I drop my sword, and my sword flies off the edge. And it's like, well, that's great. I just lost my good sword. Not that it would have mattered anyways, because it would have broken in 2 seconds anyways. And then I sprint up a thing, and then I run out of stamina, and it's like, shit, I'm out of stamina again. So it's like, well, that sucks, so let's upgrade my stamina. But my hearts are so low, and you die so quickly in that game. It felt like an overly punitive Zelda game. I didn't understand why it was so difficult. Like, Zelda games are always, like, piss easy, like, usually. They're usually very easy games. I've done 3-heart challenges before, but even 3-heart challenges are pretty doable with some of the Zelda games. Like, it was just absurd how hard the game was for no reason at times, where I had, like, 10 to 12 hearts, and I get two-shotted by enemies that just take 6 hearts. And I just didn't understand it. But then I'm totally fucked on stamina. And it's like, well, my stamina sucks. But what choice did I have? Because I just get two-shotted by enemies. So what else am I supposed to upgrade? Am I supposed to upgrade my stamina and just eat shit with my health? And I tried to, like, balance things out, but then it's like, there's no best of both worlds. There's no jack of all trades. It just felt like I was getting screwed over no matter what I did. I hated that you would drown if you ran out of stamina. I know that you could time... I know that with climbing, with the slipping, you could kind of time it, where if you jumped just right, you could regain your ground and keep it, but it was still a plague on your stamina, and that was the problem. The stamina was such a huge problem with that game. No matter what I did, the stamina was haunting me the whole game, because it was always finding a way to screw me over. And then you had all the environmental effects of, like, oh, I'm freezing now, so that sucks, I'm freezing. I'm on fire now because I'm in a mountain and there's lava, and just being within proximity hurts me. I'm trying to think of other things. I mean, the food situation, like, you had to keep stocking food on you. Like, you needed to be stocked with food at, like, all times. And you needed to keep cooking food and eating food, and it's like, I don't want to deal with this whole food system. Like, I remember when it was easy to just drink a potion. And I know I sound like an old man or whatever, but, like, that's literally just the way it was in Zelda. You would just drink a potion, or you would have, like, a fairy, right? Like, and I'm cooking food. I just felt like I was wasting time on the animations. I know that there was a way to skip the animations, and I didn't know how. But, like, I'm, like, just trying to cook food to be able to eat health, to be able to survive and not get two-shotted every enemy that I face, or three-shotted. And then, so I'm just sitting here just cooking food, and I'm like, I just feel like I'm wasting my time. I got tired playing the game. The music didn't help, because the music is, like, so relaxing. It's like, I mean, it's, like, boring, like, the music, and I felt tired playing it. I didn't feel excited playing it, and I feel like every Zelda game kind of generated some kind of excitement, but that game didn't. Another thing that bothered me was the horses. Like, I'm trying to ride a horse here, and the horse is just randomly doing shit without my permission. Like, it's randomly taking left turns and right turns, and I gotta keep petting my horse to calm it down. And I told my friend Joe this, and he said, well, you gotta feed the horse carrots. You just feed it carrots, and then it's happy. And it's like, why do I have to feed my horse carrots? Like, why do I have to do all this? Why is it that everything... It's like there's a punchline for every single thing. There's always a catch with something in that game. Like, nothing ever just works. There's always, like, some hoop you have to jump through. And it's like, I don't play Zelda for this. I don't play Zelda so I can play a survival game. I play Zelda so I can do dungeons and get some cool lore and some cool story, right? I like the story in Zelda. The Zelda timeline is stupid, but I kind of like the Zelda timeline when it makes sense, which is only sometimes. I like the Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, sort of, the split timeline thing. It doesn't really make sense, but it kind of works. I'm kind of into it. When you get to the third timeline with the non-canon thing, that gets weird with the Link to the Past timeline. I'm not really so into that. But, you know, I just kind of pretend that timeline doesn't exist. You can't make all the Zelda games connect. That's unreasonable. I don't believe in a Zelda timeline where every Zelda game is connected. However, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, and Skyward Sword, those games have a general continuity where it feels like they're kind of syncing together. They kind of rhyme in a way. There's homages, there's references, there's callbacks to the sages and to the origin of the Triforce and to Hyrule, and there's even callbacks to Majora's Mask and stuff with the Skull Kid and Twilight Princess. You know, you get a little bit of these references A lot of repeating motifs with songs that are in the setting and stuff like that, like when you sing as the wolf, or some of the songs on the Wind Waker itself kind of calls back to Ocarina of Time. So there is continuity. There is a sort of connective tissue in the core 3D Zelda games, from Ocarina to Skyward Sword. So I don't think I'm crazy for wanting some kind of continuity. A little bit in Zelda, just a little bit. But there's no story in Breath of the Wild. It felt so lackluster. It was such a... It just felt like they didn't try. It felt half-baked, the story. And I hated the way they presented the story, too. Because you had to, like the story was kind of cool in Breath of the Wild. It had some potential. I kind of liked some of the stuff with Zelda and the king and the weapons of mass destruction that she had and that she had to deal with, and then it all goes to shit with the advanced weaponry. I kind of liked that. That was a cool idea, but I didn't like how they presented it, because you had to get that, or I shouldn't say I didn't like how they presented it. I didn't like how you had to get it, because the way you had to get it was you had to go to these locations with a camera and take pictures of these things with your camera to make it unlock the cutscene to see the story. And it's like, when I have to do that just to see your story, that I have to take pictures and do this weird mini game just to see your story, like what were they smoking? Like, I want to see your story because I want to see your story. I don't want to see your story through some pictograph minigame, like what we had in Majora's Mask, where you're sitting in the boat taking, pictures so you can get a piece of heart. Like, something that should have been like a piece of heart side quest, or like a collectible, because these Zelda games have kind of a collectathon thing going for it. What should have been just a collectible for like a heart piece ended up being the bulk of the story. So you reduced the bulk of the storyline into a collectible. And it's like, what is this shit? Like, you modernized Zelda into some weird thing, but you also didn't modernize it, because you're still so stuck in the past that you have a weapon degradation system that is like equivalent to like an old RPG from like 1996. In fact, it might even be worse than that. Because, like, in Fallout 1 and Fallout 2, your weapons didn't break like that. Like, in Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, your weapons broke super easily. But the thing is that you would get an enchanted weapon, and the enchanted weapons were unbreakable. So then what happens? It's like, well, the Master Sword is the enchanted weapon that would be unbreakable. So, okay, awesome, you get the Master Sword. But then the Master Sword has to recharge. So you, like, hit enemies, and then the Master Sword has to recharge. So even the Master Sword isn't safe, and then the Master Sword gets reduced into a glorified axe for cutting down wood, because the Master Sword isn't as good as the weapons that do break that are super good. So you're just using the Master Sword as a renewable source of, or as a renewable resource to farm items. Like, this is a Zelda game? And I have to eat hot peppers to not die in the cold? Like, that's how I felt. That's how I felt. So that's my rant. And that covers about everything. Man, I'm sorry. That rant has been... Honestly, that rant is something that has been stored in me for the past, like, 4 years or whenever that game came out. And I've been wanting to say something on my channel because I feel like I've gone crazy, where I'm like, this game is like 10 out of 10 everywhere. And then I play this game and I'm like, I just don't understand it. I feel like I'm in a different place. I remember with there's this YouTube channel that I really like called Comic Pop. And I remember he was talking about, like, comic books in the mid-2000s and in the early 2000s, coming off of the wave of the like, edgy 90s era. And they're kind of starting to come out of that. It's like, after Watchmen, there was kind of a post-Watchmen deconstruction of comics where things got really edgy and more kind of anti comic book in a way, but then after Watchmen, at a certain point around 2006, they kind of went into a reconstruction where they started referencing older Superman stuff and started referencing more Silver Age and Bronze Age and things like that. That's really super nerdy and deep lore. But there was a point before that, before they got to that, where comics were super edgy and it went too deep into the deconstruction side, where it was just so edgy. And I remember Sal at Comic Pop said there was a point where I was just like, it got so edgy and so stupid, where there was this character in Marvel that was like I don't remember his name, but he was like a super edgy character with like spiky armor, and like he was like living in like physical pain the entire time. He just had spikes coming out of his body, and he had like a face mask or something. And he was like, when I saw that character, it got to a point where I got so irritated with comics that I felt like I needed to take a break from comics. I felt like this isn't for me anymore, because other people are like, damn, this character's so badass. And I'm just sitting here like, I feel like I'm not the target audience anymore. And that's how I felt with Zelda Breath of the Wild. I felt like it was a game that it almost made me rethink myself as a gamer, where I'm like, what do I like? What do other people like? Where do I fit into this whole puzzle? Because I feel like I don't fit anymore. I feel like every new game on some level finds a way to disappoint me. And to find like gaming fulfillment, I gotta go back to old stuff from the 90s, the early 2000s, the late 2000s in some cases. Yeah, you know, I gotta go back to like the PS3, the PS2, the PS1, the Super Nintendo, even Sega Genesis in a few instances. I'm not a huge Sega Genesis guy, but there's a couple of games on there that are good, you know, or even original Nintendo in the case of like Castlevania and stuff like that. Some of the only NES games I like are Castlevania and like DuckTales. I like some of those Disney games back then. I thought they were kind of cool. But yeah, you know, it's forced me to go back, and it's forced me to kind of rethink myself as a gamer in a way, because like there were big disappointments, you know, like Metal Gear Solid 5 was a big disappointment for me because it felt incomplete, and it felt like it was full of like weird filler, and it just wasn't the direction that I wanted Metal Gear to go in. I wasn't like a huge Peace Walker guy. I liked Peace Walker well enough, but I wasn't crazy about it. And it went like full Peace Walker, and I'm like, that's not what I want from Metal Gear Solid, you know? And like Arkham Knight was, I already talked about that a lot on this channel, but Arkham Knight was a big disappointment for me. Fallout 4 obviously was. And like when Zelda is a disappointment to me, like when even Zelda's not safe, it's like, what the hell is wrong? Something is wrong. It's either gaming is wrong or I'm wrong, or a mix of both. I don't know, but yeah. Anyways, hopefully FF7 doesn't disappoint me as this goes on, but I have a feeling it will, because it seems like everything does. Everything finds a way these days, and I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, a hell of a way to end this stream on a rant like that. But let me know if anyone watches this up to this point. I'll put a timestamp for the Zelda rant at the end in case anyone's interested, because this is almost a video in itself. I might even clip this and put it in a separate video and re-upload it, because it's a whole other topic. But I'm wondering if anyone agrees or disagrees, had a different experience with the game. I don't know. Let me know. But that's my 2 cents. That's my 2 cents. So that's a good way to end the stream. So I'll continue on Twitch tomorrow, probably, if I'm feeling it, which I think I will be. I think I'm gonna keep going with this thing. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. I've got some more videos planned down the line, but I will be honest, after that REM thing, I'm kind of not sure where to go from here with topics. I've considered, you know, after I played Kingdom Hearts and all that, I'd considered doing a video about Kingdom Hearts, because Kingdom Hearts is such a weird franchise for me, going from liking it a lot as a kid to cringing at it so much when I replay it as like a teenager, and now I'm an adult, and I found an appreciation in the cringe and kind of found a sort of ironic love for it, but also unironic love for it, where I'm like, man, like, this series is really, it's got some truth in it, you know? It's got some meaning in there. And it's got some good writing if you can look past the strange performances and strange voice direction and the strangeness of the setting itself and how weird it is. And kind of appreciating Kingdom Hearts is like almost like a Disney RPG, you know, which is really what it should be. It should be at the end of the day just a good Disney RPG. But that's a whole other tangent, and I wanted to make a video about that, but I kind of changed my mind. And of course, coming off of Star Wars, I had that whole Star Wars talk kind of built up, so I got that out and talked about that a little bit earlier. Yeah, so I don't know what my future videos are going to be, what future topics I could cover, but I think maybe streaming might be where I should go from here, because I play lots of different games, and I can have kind of freeform conversations like this, where I'll just start talking about anything else, and that could be fun. I mean, I could, I was just playing, because, you know, of me being into Star Wars and stuff, I was playing actually a little bit of Lego Star Wars, because I was kind of nostalgic about it, and was replaying that. I haven't played that in years and years. So, like, I could stream something like that, something casual, and just talk about any sort of topic, you know? I could talk about Grand Theft Auto 4, Rockstar, anything, while I play something casual like that. So, anyways, that's the end of the stream. So, I'll see you guys on the next video, whatever that may be. So, thank you. Thank you for watching, and it's been an honor to see my video grow. So, yeah, see you guys. Hope you have a good one.